Hello, hello, peace to the family, peace. I'm starting super early today, and that's because I have something to do later on today. So I have to start super early, and I just wanted to get this out of here, get this out before the news cycle pass. about the FBA hate cult, Tariq and all of them crashing out about the Supreme Court's decision. Yeah, so I just wanted to get this out real quick. This is a special event. We probably ain't gonna be on too long, maybe like an hour or two, maybe. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the building. I'm gonna give it like about 30 more seconds for people to come in. Shout out to the visionary for setting it off for himself for giving out some gifts. You gave 3 gifts. Much appreciated, bro. Everybody, make sure y'all supporting the stream any way y'all can. Support with a comment, support with a share, a like, the reaction heart, PayPal, Cash App, super thanks. I take it all a whole lot of ones, be a whole lot of nuns any day of the week. Venmo, super sticker. You take it all. All support is good support. That reaction heart in the corner, hit that. All support is good support. All right. We're going to give it like 30 more seconds. Shout out to everybody in the building. Okay, I think that's enough. I think we get started now. Shout out to the visionary. He sent 3 more gifts. Much appreciated, bro. Much appreciated. So you sent 6 in total already. Much appreciated. Shout out to WT in the building for sending the fire emojis. Thank you for that support. All support, good support. Shout out to Lady Clinton in the building. Shout out to Madison Mosley in the building. Shout out to you, who's also a member of the channel. Family, you can become a member of the channel too. That's another way to support. Hit that join button. Become a member of the channel. But yeah, let's get into this. Let's get into this right now because we about to laugh a little bit. It's gonna be fun. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to RS7RV in the building for the fire and coming through with the fire emojis. Also a member of the channel. Shout out to McChillin's son. McChillin's son. Yeah, we about to just talk about the Supreme Court and how FBA is reacting to that decision. These are a bunch of bozos. But yeah, let's get into this. Let's get into this right now. For all you who don't know, the Supreme Court has ruled 5-4. And yes, it was 5-4. It wasn't 6-3 or 5-1-3. It was 5-4. That birthright citizenship is, in fact, that birthright citizenship. It is the law of the land. And it's going to stay the law of the land. Now, let's see what Tariq got to say about this. Shout out to everybody in the building. It's going to be fun.
Respect to the family. Respect to all of you. All right. So what we're talking about, as the hot topic of the day, the Supreme Court and their birthright citizenship decision, ladies and gentlemen. This has been an issue that's been on the table. As we know, Trump has put out some executive orders as it relates to the TPS, the temporary protective status of certain immigrant groups. There was a victory with that with the Trump administration. The Supreme Court said, hey, the temporary protective status, some of these folks got to go. They've been here long enough. They violated the status and they got to go.
That's a lie. They did not violate the status. They did not. Trump is just a racist who wants to get rid of the the TPS for Haitians. He's just a racist. That's it. That is it. Nothing else. He's just a racist. There was no status. Nothing was violated. That's a lie.
And it's going to affect a lot of Haitians and Syrians. And another thing that was on the table was just the 14th Amendment birthright citizenship within itself. The whole decision or the conversation or the argument was that people coming over here using the 14th Amendment, that wasn't the intention of the 14th Amendment. The argument was from Trump and others was that the 14th Amendment was specifically made to grant citizenship, full citizenship, to the babies of slaves, to the descendants of slaves. That would be us foundational Black Americans.
One, that would not be you foundational Black Americans, because foundational Black American is a hate cult. It's not a people. It's not a lineage. It's a hate group, hate cult actually. Also, the 14th Amendment was never created solely to grant citizenships to the descendants of enslaved Africans in the United States. That is a lie. I've been saying that since day one, since Trump said he was going to go after it, and I was proven correct. It's a lie.
That was the purpose of it, to grant us citizenship. It was not intended for people to hop over here with anchor babies.
That is a lie. Again, never in the history, even before they wrote it, they explicitly wrote it that way because they understood there was also non-Black communities, non-Black, non-Native American, non-white communities in America. You do know that, right? There was a whole Chinese community in America. There was a whole Mexican community in America. These were things that were discussed and talked about. There was already a movement in place to make these people citizens. They're children citizens who were born here. And the 14th Amendment just opened the door to make that happen. Excuse me. The ending of the Civil War and the freeing of Black people with the 13th Amendment is what made that possible for them to do that with the 14th Amendment. And the Supreme Court has always upheld that. Always. Always. Trump just made that up. There is no precedent nowhere for the 14th Amendment, the birthright clause in the 14th Amendment, to mean anything other than if you come here and you have kids, your kids are U.S. citizens. Period. Remember, the 14th, that whole concept of birthright citizenship even go back to English common law. That was always the case. And Trump is trying to redefine the Constitution on the fly, and you bozos is going for it. Because if he can redefine what citizenship mean in the Constitution via executive order, what can he not redefine with executive order? What could he not define with executive order? Let's keep going.
And drop off their anchor babies. That wasn't the main intention of it. All right. So it was a very close decision, ladies and gentlemen. The Supreme Court, basically, it was a 5-4 vote. The 5-4 vote meant that the decision was standing on very shaky ground. They looked at the 14th Amendment as the ultimate shield. So to understand this whole fight, you got to understand the 14th Amendment of the Constitution that was put together to make sure that we, the descendants of slaves, freedmen, who was born on American soil, we would get automatic citizenship. Today, 5 of the judges said that's an invisible shield that protects everybody born here, and the president just can't use an executive order to rip that shield away. Now, because there was a 5-4 split, only 5 judges voted to say the Constitution protects birthright citizenship. That means that shield is very thin.
No, it doesn't. A Supreme Court decision holds the same weight, whether it was 9-0 or 5-4. Doesn't matter. It's not thin at all. Not thin at all. And again, the Constitution is clear about this. Trump is the criminal trying to redefine it. And you have a bunch of bozos on the Supreme Court, activist judges who are trying to go along with it. Trying to go along with it. Nonsense. Like, this is disgusting that you would even try to co-sign this.
And if one of those judges leaves the court in the future, or they get replaced by another judge who disagrees, the vote could flip the other way. Justice Kavanaugh left the back door.
Yes, that could happen, but they would have to do a whole new. There had to be another executive order, which had to do a whole new lawsuit and have to go right back through the courts again. Hopefully, Trump doesn't get to appoint any more judges. Hopefully, we don't even get any more Republican presidents being able to appoint any more judges, because this is like just ridiculous that they would even go that way. Especially Trump appointed judges, like these guys, just all over the place.
Open. Brett Kavanaugh voted with the majority to stop the president's order, which made the score look like 6-3. But he did something a little, he kind of did a finesse. He refused to say that the Constitution protects birthright citizenship. Instead, he said the president can't change this rule by himself, but Congress can change the rule. So with him doing that, that left a screen door open for the future. So Congress can.
One, Tariq, you've been watching my lives. Stop watching my lives, because you don't even understand this. Two, what Kavanaugh said is also wrong. The Congress cannot change a constitutional amendment via legislation. Only a constitutional amendment can change a constitutional amendment. Like, Congress cannot come together and pass legislation saying the Second Amendment is null and void. Only a constitutional amendment can do that. So what Kavanaugh said is a lie. What Kavanaugh was really trying to do is that he was trying to say that so that Trump and the Republican Congress could come together, try to pass some legislation, which will get sued and challenged in court. And then when it gets sued and challenged in court, it'll go back to the Supreme Court. And this time, Kavanaugh, you'll still have the same three that will vote, that'll vote the same way they voted this time. Kavanaugh that time will just outright agree with that decision, and they will hopefully they could get Andy Cody Berry or Justice Roberts to flip to them. So now they got the 5-4 or the 6-3 the other way, so they can get it that way, a roundabout. Which again, if they did that, would also violate the Constitution. But we'll see what the future holds. That's why this midterm is so important, so that Trump loses control of the House in part, loses control of Congress in part or in whole. So we don't have to worry about something like this getting through, or a lot of Republicans break rank with him. Shout out to everybody in the building.
Come in and bring this thing back to the Supreme Court. And they do have another argument. So this is not locked in stone. All right. So I know a lot of the tethers have been very celebratory. The tethers are really doing.
Tether's a slur, by the way. And again, that way of them trying to do that is just as illegitimate and illegal as Trump executive order. And it's a good chance it's not going to work. And you don't want it to work. Because again, if Congress can simply redefine the Constitution of the United States of America with regular federal legislation, you don't want to be in a country that does that, especially with the Republicans in charge. You'll never know what they would introduce. And best believe they would introduce things that will directly hurt Black people. And I don't understand why these bozos don't understand. Any attack on the 14th Amendment is a direct attack on Black people. Just like the Alabama Speaker of the House just said, they want to get the 14th Amendment. Why do they want to get the 14th Amendment so bad? Because the 14th Amendment is the only thing standing in the way of us going back to antebellum 2.0. Us being back in the antebellum South, but for the whole country. Because we already in Jim Crow 2.0. Now they're trying to bring us all the way back to the antebellum South. Because the only thing standing in the way is that 14th Amendment. Remember, The 13th Amendment has a loophole in it that's been exploited to the max. Been exploited to the max. And the Trump administration is trying to figure out new ways to exploit it. The 15th Amendment was only realized with the civil rights victories, which have been gutted. Because remember, the 15th Amendment is about our right to vote. The only thing left is that 14th Amendment. If they get that, then we back to the antebellum South. Because the antebellum South did not truly end until we got the Reconstruction Amendments. It didn't end with the end of the Civil War. It ended with the Reconstruction Amendments. And if they get that, then we back to the antebellum South.
Tap dancing with them flip-flops, but it's not, this isn't really permanent. This is more like a pause button. See, the main takeaway is that the Supreme Court decision was not a permanent green light for birthright citizenship. It was more like a pause button. That 5-4 split and the loophole that Kavanaugh pointed out, that the Congress can pass a new law and send it right back to the Supreme Court. And they can potentially change American citizenship rules forever. All right? So we got to understand that part of the game. Now, why did many of the justices say, okay, we want to uphold birthright citizenship? We got to understand something, family. A lot of those Supreme Court justices, let's be very real, they benefited from the 14th Amendment, birthright citizenship. You understand that? Many of them benefited from it.
So this bozo, Tariq, is now getting mad at judges for upholding the correct decision. Because as you just heard him, why did they uphold birthright citizenship, which is literally the name of the clause, literally in the Constitution, plain as day. And this bozo said many of them have benefited from it. Who benefited from it? Who benefited from it? There's only about 2 people on who voted against it who actually, quote unquote, benefited from it. That's Justice Sotomayor and Justice Ketanji Brown. That's it. That's it. I don't get what are you saying? And even if they all benefited from it, so what? It's the law of the land. You know how many people benefit from freedom of speech? That's like saying you only voted to keep freedom of speech because you benefit from it. Duh. Why wouldn't somebody vote to keep freedom of speech if they benefit from it? And it's actually the law of the land. You only voted for the Second Amendment because you like having a gun. Duh. The Second Amendment is the law. 1, the Second Amendment is the law of the land. So me voting for that is correct. And 2, why wouldn't I vote for something that benefits me and something that lets me do what I want to do? You can't be this stupid.
People kind of forget that. Justice Samuel was Alito. His people immigrated here from Italy. They benefited off that 14th Amendment.
All white people who was born in America were citizens. All you had to do is not, if you was born here and you wasn't like an indentured servant, you were a citizen. So I don't get what you're talking about. Let me see something. Let's look at the chat. Yes, that's exactly what that means, McChillin. ICE will now have a free hand to racially profile black people, which they've been doing. Because all they got to do is say they thought you was a Haitian. Or they could just use the fact that they could say, well, there's Haitians in this area to attack the whole area. Remember what they did in Chicago. They said it was Venezuelans in this building apartment complex, and they used that as a justification to kick in everybody's door. And they just wasn't ICE with them. They had the ATF with them. They had and all that with them. And they told people, just because you're a citizen doesn't mean anything. We searching everybody's house, and if we find something illegal, you're going to jail. If you have a warrant, you're going to jail. Because remember, immigration doesn't need warrants the way other police need warrants. So if immigration kick your door in and the regular police or the feds is with them, they can use that to come in and they can lock you up for anything illegal they find. How many people went to jail that night who were not here undocumentedly, but they had a warrant? Or let's say, for example, they found some weed in their house. Because remember, weed is still federally illegal. So even if you live in a state where it is legal, if the feds kick your door in, saying that they thought you was a Haitian or they looking for Haitians, and they find some weed, you can go to jail, and they will take you to jail. Great question. That's exactly why. Oh, shout out to Justin March, my first moderator. He just came through and gifted people 20 memberships. Family, if Justin March gifted you a membership, make sure you thank him and make sure you keep it going. You can raise it, you can drop it, but make sure you keep it going. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for all the support you have given me over this time I started live streaming. Much appreciated. Shout out to Justin March. Everybody give Justin March a round of applause.
They came in the early 20th century. Y'all got to understand, a lot of people who are classified as white, they came later. They're Ellis Island babies. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of these people are Ellis Islanders. They don't have no real deep roots over here like that. So Alito's family came over later, benefited from that 14th Amendment. Justice Elena Kagan, she has Russian Jewish grandparents. They came over here in the early 20th century. You understand? That 14th Amendment helped them. You understand? Justice Roberts, they come from an Irish Welsh background. I think his family was Slavic immigrants from Hungary. I think they came over in the very late 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s. That helped his family. Even Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh's family came over from Ireland in 1878. So
they would have been citizens regardless. You're naming a bunch of white people. They would have been citizens. Their parents would have came over here and they would have been born in America and they would have been citizens. That's why the whole conversation about birthright citizenship always revolved around people of color. Them being citizens was never the issue. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Let's keep it going.
benefited from that. You see? Amy Barnett, her family, I think they're French or something like that. And I think they were down in New Orleans. They immigrated to New Orleans. Sonia Sotomayor, she's Puerto Rican. All right.
Puerto Ricans are born with U.S. citizenship. You forgot Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory? You can't make this up.
So the person who stood on business was Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas, who's FBA, he's done some Sambo things, but he stood on business as far as this. He was the main one saying, hey, the 14th Amendment was for the descendants of slaves, the babies of slaves, the children of slaves. So a lot of these people on the Supreme Court, they benefited from that 14th Amendment. You got to understand that. See, here's the con game that people are not telling you. See, the birthright citizenship is not just for the brown people and the dark melanated people. That's kind of the propaganda frame. They want the public to believe that birthright citizenship is really about Mexicans and Haitians and Africans and Caribbeans and all that. And all the non-white people trying to anchor themselves into America. But that's not the full story. Birthright citizenship, that's been one of the main ways this country absorbed immigrants into the country as unquestioned Americans.
That's not true. Like now he's trying to rally people to attack birthright citizenship, talking about how it also benefits white people. That's not even the case. All free white people who came to America and had kids, their kids were citizens. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's how. Am I confused? Am I getting something wrong here? Let me know. Oh, shout out to Manna Tomorrow for coming through with 100. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for that. You said it off in a major way. Everybody, make sure y'all following suit. Y'all support the stream. Much appreciated. Somebody else wrote me. Oh, happy that you could catch the stream. I'm happy. Stay safe. Salute. Shout out to everybody in the building. You already know. Shout out to Man of Tomorrow. Hey, shout out to RBG for the win. You in the building. Shout out to you shouting out Justin March. Let's keep this going.
And a lot of those immigrants were white Europeans. So when the Supreme Court, they protect birthright citizenship, they're not just protecting some modern non-white immigration pipeline, ladies and gentlemen. They're protecting that same constitutional machine that helped turn European immigrants' families into regular white Americans. You understand? Let's be real. They know that birthright citizenship helped build modern white America. See, people ain't talking about it from that angle. A lot of these white ethnic groups, they were not fully seen as American when they first came over here. The Irish were not fully white American.
Tariq is getting his history mixed and match. The Irish and them not being fully seen as white or fully quote unquote white or American, that was the case even after birthright citizenship. It wasn't like it was before birthright citizenship. And then when birthright citizenship passed, then everybody was like, all right, well, since we got birthright citizenship, they all our people now. Let's go. Yeah, we all together, we one group. Like, come on now, cut it out. Like, you mix it and match in your history. And also, I want to also say this about that Irish wasn't really white thingy. They were considered white. The whole concept of being really white, they meant it as being American. They meant it by being American. Like, they didn't see because America was also a xenophobic country. So if you wasn't from the British Isles and you wasn't born in America, you was like an outsider. Even if you was English, you was an outsider. So that was the mentality. It was just xenophobia. Just like in the UK, they got xenophobia against other white people. It's not that they not white, it's just that they not English and they don't want them around. That was the case. And that discrimination wasn't even universal, because the Irish were not discriminated against in the South. And a lot of times they was the elites out west. That whole Irish was discriminated against. They wasn't really white. That a lot of that story was really overblown. So yeah, let's keep it going. Shout out to everybody in the building.
The Italians were not white American. The Jews were not considered white American. Many of the Eastern Europeans were not considered white American. Hell, Germans at one point weren't even considered really white. You know, all that Aryan shit they start talking later. The Germans over here, they were like, no, 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 you swarthy. No, 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 you swarthy, buddy. They were treated like outsiders. But once their children were born here, those children had a constitutional claim to America. You see?
That situation he just mentioned with the Germans, that goes back because them just not liking them. And that goes back to the founding fathers. And that mentality died really quickly. Also, before birthright citizenship even became a thing, their kids were considered American citizens. Like, Tariq is mixing and matching his history. Like, Germans weren't considered the children of German immigrants weren't considered American citizens until birthright citizenship was passed. Come on now, cut it out.
They had the first generation foreigner, second generation, quote, American. Third generation, suddenly, all of a sudden, they act like they built the damn country from scratch, which isn't true. But birthright citizenship made that transition smooth. You understand? So the real fear is not immigration. The fear is losing control over which immigrant counts. See, when the immigration is black or non-white, they'll call it an invasion. But when the immigration feeds the population, or it's heritage, it's settlement, it's opportunity, it's hard work, it's the American dream, and all that stuff. But the Supreme Court, they understand it.
So now Tariq, are you really stupid? Like, he's literally arguing to his audience, telling them that Trump is opposing immigration the way he is because he's trying to keep America a certain type of white. He don't want immigrants in general, not just immigrants of color, but white immigrants as well, just coming into America trying to soak up on resources, which is a total lie. In fact, that's a lie that they told at the Supreme Court with the Haitian TPS thing, where they was like, when they was bringing up evidence saying that Trump is only doing this because he's a racist, they argument was that, oh, Trump just doesn't like immigrants across the board. That's why, which is totally not true. This is why there's no effort to remove, being made to remove all the Ukrainians who came here. Where is he trying to say, well, your TPS or whatever version of that they have, that's up. You need to go back. He's not doing that. Trump just brought in who? A bunch of South Africans trying to save them from a fake genocide and brought them to America. He ain't trying to remove them. He is not trying to remove him. This is about bringing in more white people. Remember, even during Trump's first administration, he kept talking about how can we get more white people to come to America, more Europeans to move to America. This ain't got nothing to do with no universal dislike of immigration. Tariq, you lying. You're a bozo. Shout out to Tony Robertson for coming through with the 10. Much appreciated. Thank you for setting it off for yourself. Oh, Justin Robert. Yes. Justin March said go subscribe to Man of Tomorrow. Yes, go do that. Yeah, family. Go subscribe to Man of Tomorrow. Exactly, Mackenzie. A lot of the dislike for those groups was because they was Catholic. That's it. That's it. And somebody said it too. I just saw it. They said the KKK was anti-Catholic. Oh, you said that. Yes, they was anti-Catholic. The first attack on the United States Capitol by American citizens wasn't even January 6th. It was, I forgot when it happened, but it happened because people heard that the Pope had donated something to the build the White House. So people was rioting about that. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building supporting, coming through, asking comments. Somebody said, oh, let's see. We got Alex Derrick. You say how much? Tariq get a good check from YouTube. I wouldn't be surprised if Tariq is clocking at least 100 grand off YouTube a month. I wouldn't be surprised. At least 100. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. But shout out to you. Shout out to somebody else. Somebody else. I just saw another comment. Oh, shout out to you watching from Mozambique at 2 a.m. in the morning. Make sure you get some sleep if you got to go to work tomorrow. You can always watch the playback. Shout out to you though. Yeah, let's keep this going. Oh, shout out to Jackie in the building, coming through with the fire emojis. Shout out to Mac. Let me see. Mac Nasty for coming through with the fire emojis too. Also, a member of the channel. Let me see. Shout out to V David for coming through. Yes, I'm saying, like, white people who came here who was free, which means you wasn't an indentured servant, you became a citizen. Their citizenship was never in question. White people's citizenship was never in question. Yeah, let's keep it going.
If you destroy birthright citizenship, you're not just going to hit the melanated immigrants. You'll destabilize citizenship for white Americans or white immigrants too. You see? That's what they don't want. They want to slam the door on certain people, but they don't want to break the door completely. You understand? So the 14th Amendment, that was from foundational Black American struggle. But white immigrants came to America. They became the biggest beneficiaries of it. See, that's the thing they don't want to talk about.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Like, you're just saying stuff. Like, come on now. You're just saying stuff. I can't get with this, man. You're a liar. Talking about white people are the biggest beneficiaries of the 14th Amendment. And even if that was the case, it's obvious to a duck that Trump is picking and choosing. Just like with the TPS. He's not getting rid of TPS for everybody. He's picking and choosing who he's getting rid of it for. And he's picking and choosing who he's targeted. Remember, they only threw Syrians in there as a throwaway line. But if you listen to the Trump administration just talk, they only talking about Haitians because that was always the goal. Just Haitians. They pick it and choose it. Even if white people were the biggest beneficiaries of birthright citizenship and they did away with it, Trump would just sign a new executive order excluding the white people. Because if he can sign an executive order redefining the Constitution, why can't he sign another executive order redefining his previous executive order? Like, come on now. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Shout out to let me see. Shout out to Samurai Khan. I think that's your name. I think it says Samurai. It's for the 777. You said black Freemasons are traitors. I don't know if I could co-sign that. I don't know enough about Freemasonry to co-sign whether black Freemasons are traitors or not. So I'm not gonna co-sign that. Shout out to you for the donation though, Samurai. But I don't know if I could co-sign that because again, I don't know enough about that, and it could be a lot of misinformation going around with the black Freemason. So I got to look into that myself. But shout out to you again. But yeah, let's keep it going.
People, white folks couldn't come over here if it were not for black people kicking in that 14th Amendment thing. And remember,
he just said black people opened the door for white people to come to America. He just said black people opened the door for white people to come to America by getting birthright citizenship with the 14th Amendment. You can't make this up.
14th Amendment was a black grassroots movement. You've probably heard me talk.
No, it wasn't. He said it's a black grassroots movement. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. The 14th Amendment was a black grassroots movement. He's just saying anything. Oh, your name is Samurai Cam. I see it better now. Samurai Cam. Shout out to you. Thank you again for the 777.
About this before. All right. The 14th Amendment, that was a black grassroots movement, ladies and gentlemen. You had foundational black Americans all over this country. Frederick Douglass was one of them. He was one of the prominent voices talking about citizenship. He was actively confronting the government. In 1866, he had a delegation to the White House directly challenging Andrew Johnson, the president, Andrew Johnson, on civil rights and all that stuff. So other people like William Nesbitt out of Pennsylvania, he was the president of the Pennsylvania State Equal Rights League, and he was a master of grassroots mobilization. You had John Mercer Langston, that was the national president of the Equal Rights League. He was a strategic mind behind building up the nationwide grassroots infrastructure to push the 14th Amendment. You had Brother Octavius Cato. He was a brilliant strategist. He was working with Frederick Douglass and William Nesbitt to mobilize the black masses.
Tariqis don't know what he's talking about. There was no black mass mobilization that pushed the U.S. government to doing the birthright citizenship clause in the 14th Amendment, where it's like, we got that because black people were just so mobilized, so put so much pressure. Like, he don't even know what he's talking about. Wait, somebody said this. Let me see. Somebody said this in the comment section. Let me see. Who is it? Exactly, V. David. I called you Davis. V. David. Exactly. The 14th and 13th Amendment was pushed by the radical Republicans. Even the 15th Amendment. That's, in fact, the way they got it. That's the reason why you have neo-Confederates to this day trying to challenge the Reconstruction Amendment, saying that they weren't ratified properly. Like, come on now. Like, what are you talking about? Exactly. Chicken, I was just about to say it. Chicken butt mouth. You don't never know what's going to come out this dude's mouth. You don't never know what he's going to say. You don't never know what he's going to say. Shout out to you, stay safe. Yes, other groups have benefited from it, but it wasn't just for formerly enslaved Africans in America. No, it was never written like that. Because remember, it was already the person who wrote the 14th, the birthright citizenship clause in the 14th Amendment was already working on something like that previously. Because, like I said, they already was like hundreds of thousands of Chinese people in America, maybe tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, definitely hundreds of thousands of Mexicans, and they was having kids, and people never knew, all right, what is the status of these people? Who is the status of these people? Like, come on now. Like, what was the status of these people? So that was already an issue long before slavery even ended. Long before slavery was even ended. Shout out to Rob. Rob, yeah, LOL. Yeah, yeah, that's really bad that PlayStation is doing that. Like, I'm tired of companies doing stuff like this. Like, do y'all know I have to pay my rent where I live at? I have to pay. I cannot directly give um the the management company money. I have to go on the app, pay to use the app to pay them my rent. I have to pay my rent. They putting fees on everything. They putting fees on bills now. Well, you can't even just straight pay your bill no more. You gotta pay to pay your bills. Shout out to you for that. Let's get back to this.
Yeah, George Downing, that was a wealthy foundational Black American businessman and organizer. He was putting pressure on the ground in Washington, D.C. for the full citizenship. Sisters like Frances Ellen Harper, who was going through the South after the Civil War, speaking to large crowds of recently freed slaves, organizing them politically. Henry Highland Garnett, I know y'all probably heard that name. Henry McNeil Turner.
Again, when did any of these people put together a grassroots movement and put pressure on the U.S. government to give birthright citizenship? You're just naming people, but you're not naming the organization they put together. You're not naming the movement that they put together. You're not naming how they actually came together and put that direct pressure on the federal government to get that. You're just making stuff up.
I'm just throwing a lot of names of these people you can look up who were foundational Black American, who were very instrumental in getting the 14th Amendment and pushing it and pressuring politicians to solidify our citizenship on a federal level. All right. And a lot of these white immigrants benefited from that Black grassroots movement. You understand? And they don't want to talk about it from that standpoint. But that's very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. But the thing is, man, we got to understand um, with this decision, the tethers have been really, really antagonistic about it. They're like, oh, look, you FBA's lost. I've been seeing that. Some tethers talking about because of this decision, we lost. What the hell we lose?
You did lose. You guys was pushing this hard. Y'all supported Trump. Y'all said Trump gonna get y'all tethers out of here. He gonna change the law. He gonna do this. He gonna do that. Watch, watch, watch. Y'all was celebrating like y'all got reparations when y'all heard the TPS for Haitians was gone. And if they would have been 5-4 the other way, and Trump would have been able to redefine birthright citizenship on the fly, y'all would have basically caught the Holy Ghost. Say I'm lying. Y'all lost, and now y'all trying to act like, well, how did we lose? What did we lose? You lost because guess what? Your quote unquote mass deportation to get the tethers is not happening. The tethers are gonna lose citizenship and they're gonna get deported. It's not happening. That was one of your projects. That was one of your objectives for supporting Trump, and now it's not happening. You lost. You lost.
What the hell we didn't lose nothing? Our status was never in jeopardy. We were never in damn jeopardy. We didn't lose shit. It's just the same old, same old. We cool. We're not running around having anchor babies. We ain't, the threat of us getting deported was never there. So we're cool. And let me tell you something very interesting about this thing, which is a good thing for us, ladies and gentlemen. Notice how the conversation about the 14th Amendment and birthright citizenship, it all centers around foundational Black Americans. It centers us.
No, it doesn't. The people that's a lie that Trump made up. Trump made that up. That's a lie. You cannot show me anywhere in the history of the Supreme Court, the creation of the 14th Amendment, where it was just about Black people who was newly freed from slavery and giving them citizenship. We were the biggest beneficiaries of it, We were in mind, of course, we were the biggest beneficiaries of it, but it wasn't just centered around us, where it's like you can't even understand the birthright citizenship clause without thinking about enslaved Africans who were newly freed enslaved Africans. You're making that up. That's Trump's argument that, well, the birthright citizenship clause was just about giving newly freed Black Americans citizenship. That's a lie. That's a lie.
You understand? This Supreme Court decision and the whole conversation about it, family, this gave a civics class on who foundational Black Americans are. You understand? This forced the country to admit that the birthright citizenship fight comes directly out of the legal status of Black people who descended from freedmen in America. This is the exact lineage we're delineating. So this whole conversation destroys the whole thing when people act dumb. What is FBA? What's the Foundation of Black American? What is that? This destroys that. All right. The minute
No, it doesn't. Because, again, show me where foundational Black American is a government term, a legal term. It's something you made up. You registered it with the U.S. federal government. Somebody literally cannot put foundational Black American on a T-shirt without your express permission. You can hit somebody with a cease and desist order for putting foundational Black American on a T-shirt or using that flag. You can do that. That's not a people. You just made that up. Show me where, anywhere in our history where they say, well, foundational Black American, that's a real thing. Because, Black people have always known that they are indigenous. Again, 90+% of us are indigenous, according to you. Only about 5% of us are like have any African ancestry, because only about like 5% of the Africans came in. And then we got the Moorish explorers who was already here. And then they all amalgamated and created foundational Black American. That's a fantasy. You just made that up. It's not real.
birthright citizenship hit the Supreme Court, everybody knew how to get specific. They were not saying that this amendment was about Africans. They did not say this amendment was about immigrants. They're not saying that this was about some vague global identity.
Yes, they were. The only people who were arguing what you're trying to argue right now is the Trump administration. That's it. You can't be like, you're just lying to your audience. This is why the FBA hate cult. That's why you can't be FBA without turning stupid. It's going to turn your brain to mush, because you got to listen to Tariq and you got to take everything he say on face value. This is why you're going to be stupid.
They had to mention Dred Scott. They had to say freedmen. They had to say descendants of slaves. They had to say people born in America who were denied citizenship because of slavery. That is exactly the group foundational Black Americans are talking about. So when people try to act slow and act dumb, well, what is FBA? I mean, y'all Native American? What is that? We're the people who the Supreme Court is talking about. We're the people who the 14th Amendment was initially about.
That's a lie. Because you know what's so funny? Also, the 14th Amendment, if I'm not mistaken, didn't make Native American citizens. So if y'all FBA, y'all Aboriginal, it did not make anybody who was indigenous to this land a citizen. The Native Americans have to get their own law to make them citizens of America. So what is he talking about? Because again, according to Tariq, the foundational Black Americans, the majority of foundational Black American ethnic, quote unquote, ethnicity group is people who are Aboriginal to this land, with a little bit of Moorish and a little bit of African sprinkled in. Nobody who was Aboriginal to this land was made a citizen with the 14th Amendment. Nobody. I don't even think the Indian freedmen were made citizens with the 14th Amendment. I don't even think the Indian freedmen were made citizens with the 14th Amendment.
That's who we are. So you can't sit up here and act dumb and play like you don't understand. That amendment was written in response to a specific injury against a specific people.
Shout out to Benevolent in the video. No, I'm not only covering Tariq, but I'm gonna be covering a lot of Tariq because again, a lot of the FBA bozos is all getting their information from him. So this is like the source. This is the source. So again, if you get it from the source, you don't have to worry about somebody saying, "Well, Tariq didn't say that." Oh, that's just what Wooty Whoop said. That's not what we meant. But yeah, let's keep it going.
The 14th Amendment was not created because America was confused about everybody on earth. They created it because America created a very specific constitutional crime against a very specific domestic Black population. You understand? See, that Dred Scott decision said Black people.
It wasn't a crime. In fact, isn't that why Tariq is Trump is arguing that Black people don't deserve reparations because reparations was legal? There was no crime committed, according to Trump, the Trump administration. It was legal. So what are you talking about?
People descended from the enslaved were not a part of the political community. The Supreme Court's birthright citizenship opinion explains that the Dred Scott decision made blood, not soil, the rule for the Black population. So if you were born here, raised here, and subjected to American power, the system tried to still say that your enslaved ancestry excluded you from citizenship. So that was what the whole fight was about. You understand? So that's not everybody's Black. That was a very specific thing done to a very specific people. And foundational Black Americans, we were subjected to American jurisdiction before we were allowed to enjoy American citizenship fully on a federal level. See, that's such.
So how you the foundation of a nation that you're not even a citizen of? You just said y'all wasn't even the citizens. Y'all was subjected to American law, but y'all wasn't citizens of America. So how was you foundational to America? Let me know. Let me know. How was y'all the foundation of a nation you didn't even have rights in? That a constitutional amendment had to be put in place to override a Supreme Court decision about y'all not having no rights, but y'all the foundation and everybody got to kiss y'all butt. Come on now. Can't make this up. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you're supporting the stream. Hit the like button.
That's why they kept driving that subject to the jurisdiction line over and over. They kept mentioning that line. That was a very pivotal line in the decision, the subject to the jurisdiction. That's not some abstract legal phrase. Black Americans understood what that phrase means. Our ancestors were under American law when America wanted labor. We were under American law when America wanted us to pay taxes, because we had to pay taxes when we were, living as free people of color and all that. We still had to. We were taxed. We were under American law when they wanted to punish us. We were under American law when America wanted slave patrols. We were under American law when America wanted to have fugitive slave acts and fugitive slave enforcement. We were under American law when America wanted to control us. We were under American law when they were down there in Florida fighting the Seminoles. They sent the U.S. Army to fight those Black Seminoles down there. So we were subjected to the law, but when it came time to give rights, citizenship, and due process and equal protection and political belonging, suddenly they wanted to pretend we were outsiders. We said, we are no damn outsiders. This is our shit. We stood on that. We let them know.
That's a lie. Who like how can somebody who don't even got no rights stand on something that we actually do got rights? You making that up. Shout out to Stay Safe for putting this. I think it's time to start calling them subjugated Black Americans. That could be y'all new name. Subjugated Negro Americans. That's their new name. They not foundational Black Americans because as Tariq just said, they were subjugated. So we got the subjugated Negro Americans. Subjugated Negro Americans. So let's keep hearing the history of subjugated Negro Americans. Keep it going, Tariq. Tell us how subjugated Negro Americans got their freedom. Tell us how they bossed up on the master on the plantation. Let's hear this.
This is ours too. Damn near more so because we built it. That's why the 14th Amendment matters. You understand? You can't keep a people under your jurisdiction for centuries and build the nation off their labor and then claim that they're not part of the nation. See, the white supremacists, they thought they were going to create a little white.
Yes, you can. And they did do that. Remember, the only reason the 14th Amendment exists is because of the radical Republicans and the way that they decided to ratify it. Remember, people keep arguing about whether the 14th Amendment was properly ratified because the radical Republicans did something that, technically speaking, they ain't have no power to do. They just refused to count any votes from any Democrat who voted against them. So they was the only ones voting. And they the ones who voted to do all these things. Like, what are you talking about? Talking about you can't do that. Yes, they can. They did it for centuries. How long did America exist as British, as a British colony and as an independent nation with black people being subjugated? Excuse me, you Negro Americans being subjugated? How long? How many centuries did that go on for? Before the radical Republicans changed that. And then you had to wait another century for it to be fully realized. Not even fully realized, mostly fully realized. Mostly realized. I should say that. Mostly realized. Shout out to everybody in the building.
A white ethno state. And we said, no, you're not going to do that. That ain't happening. So the thing is, the ruling proves that immigrants can benefit from the 14th Amendment without being the people the amendment was originally aimed at. You see? And the Supreme Court, their conversation separated race from lineage. See, black is a race, African is a continental origin, immigrant is a migration status. But when we say foundational Black American, that's a lineage tied to American slavery and the making of the United States. So the 14th Amendment was not about skin tone, it was about a population with a specific legal relationship to this country.
Not true. You made that up. Keep going. We about to switch it, but keep going.
See, that's why foundational Black American delineation is very necessary. Because if you just say black people, people just say any black immigrant. Obama's black. They run around here. He's the first black president. Obama's a Kenyan tether.
I thought only foundational, excuse me, subjugated Negro Americans were the only black people in this country. I thought subjugated Negro Americans were the only black people in this country. I thought Africans are not black. People from the Caribbean are not black. But now they are black. See? Chicken butt mouth. You never know what's going to pop out of his mouth. You never know. You never know.
You know what I'm saying? If you say African, that's anybody too. You erase American legal history. You say people of color, you get a Afro-Latino. You know? But when you say foundational Black American, that names the group that America tried to keep as property, tried to keep us as non-citizens. That's why that term is very, very important. And this decision showed that we're not guests in this country. We're literally part of the foundation. This whole Supreme Court centered around us being the foundation of that constitutional ruling. See, we were not added to America later. America was built around our labor and then rebuilt around our citizenship question. You see, even before the United States was even formed, our ancestors were already subjected to the United States. And after the US was formed, our ancestors were under American authority. During Reconstruction, under American authority. During Jim Crow, under American authority. During civil rights, under American authority. So nobody can sit here and talk to us like we're some outside optional side group. We're not an immigrant subgroup.
That sounds like y'all outside side group to me. Y'all under all that authority, but ain't got no rights. You subjugated. When do the subjugated have rights? Excuse me, not even have rights. When do the subjugated get to say anything? Like, come on. Yes, anger baby is a slur too. I forgot to mention that when I'm pointing out tether is a slur, anchor baby is also a slur. Thank you for letting that be known, Charles. Like, come on now, let's get out of here. A matter of fact, yeah, let's get off this. Let's find some. Let's let him finish his sentence, and then we could get off this. Go to somebody else.
You understand? We're not generic Africans. We are literally the foundation of this nation. We have a constitutional relationship with this nation. We are the oldest, longest continuous ethnic group here. Do y'all understand that? I want people to really
How? So y'all older than Native Americans? So are y'all older than the white people who brought enslaved Africans here? Like, let's let him explain this, and then we're gonna get off this.
get that part of the game. We're the longest continuous ethnic group here. Because a lot of people who are classified as white now, they weren't classified as white back in the day. They became white later. I really want y'all to understand that part of the game, family. Let's get P. Ray in here. P. Ray is a conservative. Miss P. Ray, hop on in, P.
We're not doing that. Y'all want to hear P. Ray, or y'all want to get off this?
Ray. Me talk to Miss P. Ray. P. Ray, hop on in, man.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you so much for letting me come on your stage. You are that guy.
I
Okay, so
try.
thank you.
I try to
Thank
be.
you.
Go ahead, dear.
So I've been just watching all of the comments and all of the feedback on this. As we know, we drive American culture. Okay,
Yes, we do.
us. And so what we need to do in this moment is really push for the U.S. government to make sure that pregnancy tests are a part of all immigration processes now. Mhm.
Okay.
Every embassy, every consulate, whenever someone applies to come to the United States of America, they have to go through a medical clearance. And
Mm.
so now we want pregnancy tests to be a part of that medical clearance. Also, if you are living on a visa in the United States of America, now we need them to renew them every 6 months. And during that 6 month renewal period, if you are pregnant and you are here on a non resident visa, it's time to go home, honey. That's
Mm.
it. That's all we
Mhm.
need to do for now. For
Go ahead.
now on, we just need to focus on finding the appropriate allies within Congress. Your reach is humongous, so you
Mhm.
know how to do that. The people who listen to you have power as well. All we need to do is start lobbying and advocating with Congress to implement those two things, and we can clean all of this up really fast.
Mhm.
We don't even have to talk about the Supreme Court. They did their part. Now it's time to turn the page and get to work. And now that comes through congressional lobbying. And based on what I've been seeing from Congress people just on this app, I think that those allies already exist.
Oh
So if
yeah.
we put our collective political capital behind that, we can definitely have this done before the end of the year. Straight up.
Mhm. There it is. All right. Thank you so much, beloved. I
Thank you for
appreciate.
That was dumb. That's never gonna happen, and that's dumb. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with the 5. So this is the lady when Trump was saying, "Oh, black people love me." There's a black lady in Chicago wearing red. This is her. Bozo, 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 bozo. Like, you can't make this up. Imagine being a black person trying to ally yourself with racist white people who want to alter the government to create a white ethno state. Remember, the goal behind all of this is to create a white ethno state. A white ethno state don't include you, nigga. Like I don't understand that. It includes you as in being subjugated. That's what it includes you as, being a subjugated bozo. But I guess y'all not mad at that because again, y'all are what are y'all? Subjugated Negro Americans. So y'all just looking to go back to y'all place. Y'all miss being under the white man's rulership. Y'all miss it. That's why y'all want this to come back. Y'all pray for Jim Crow. Y'all pray for the antebellum South. Y'all long for the plantation. This is what I'm talking about. When I said that these people tried to co-opt the language of black nationalism, but they really Negro segregationalists, neo-Negro segregationalists. Can't make this up. Oh, shout out to That's Amazing for doubling up with another 5. I don't understand the question. You said all you need is a birth certificate to prove you're a citizen. Actually, if that interpretation was changed, how would he prove his citizenship? What do you mean by that? Like, how would he prove it? I think Tariq got his birth certificate, but what you mean? Like, I don't get it. Shout out to you though. Like, just let me know what you meant by that. But yeah, I think we could get off this. Yeah.
Absolutely, P. Ray. Thank you, dear. All right. But yeah, it's getting it's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting. But yeah, a lot of these people, a lot of politicians are going to start doing things locally because they're going to go around and they're going to still stop a lot of people from coming over. That whole birth tourism shit, they're going to cut all that out. They're going to start creating laws to just stop people coming over here with all that. You understand? Because again, the 14th Amendment was not meant for.
Exactly. You could get off this, but I want to say one more thing before we get off this. Tariq is not doing no organizing. P. Ray, you are stupid. Tariq is just here to grift. He just here to whine on the internet and get paid. That's what Tariq is here to do. He ain't here to do no organizing. That take work. That take resources. That take time. Tariq, you forgot Tariq already told y'all. He going to Atlanta to celebrate, to go celebrate his birthday weekend. He ain't doing that. You think Tariq is really going to waste his time to organize? And he ain't getting no money off that, but it's costing him money? Like, come on now. Like, cut it out. That ain't happening. But yeah, let's get off this. I think I saw something else. I want to see. Shout out to everybody in the building, though. Shout out to everybody in the building. Much appreciated. Much appreciated for everybody being in the building. I think, yeah, we could get off this real quick. I want to see this because I don't know if Poetic Flacco is here on a TPS because he did a video talking about how he's terrified about this decision. So yeah, let's get into this. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure y'all liking the stream, y'all thumbing up the stream, y'all doing all that good stuff. Much appreciated to everybody for all their support so far. Yeah, let's get into this. Let's get into this because I haven't watched it.
Roland Martin has a lot of Black people pissed off this week. He's receiving a lot of backlash from Tariq Nasheed and others who identify with Tariq Nasheed.
Come on, you already messed up. Roland Martin does not have a lot of Black people pissed off. He got a lot of subjugated Negro Americans pissed off, but they always pissed off. Come on now. You already messed up. Keep it going.
Based on his comments about FBAs on multiple episodes of his shows this week.
In this Lennard memo, they literally were demanding that the French military institute Jim Crow because they felt Black soldiers were going to be too uppity because the French were respecting them as human beings. So why do I say all of this? And by the way, you need to go watch the Harlem Hellfighters. By the way, you should go watch the W.B. Du Bois documentary that's on PBS to get an understanding of his thinking when it came to Pan-Africanism. I'm saying all of this because we should stop this nonsense of listening to these idiots who yell, "You a tether, you a tether." Oh, I know them fools. Because I once stated, and I have no problem saying it, that my maternal, paternal ancestors migrated from Haiti. These same dumbasses, these FBA people, "Oh, you a tether, you a tether." No, I was born in Houston. In fact, Riverside Hospital is celebrating the Black folks that were born in that hospital on Friday, on Juneteenth. That is happening. My mom and daddy were born in Houston. My grandparents were born in Louisiana. And I'm like,
oh, they was born in Louisiana. You know what Tariq said about people born in Louisiana? That they really just Haitians. So you might be more Haitian than you realize, Roland. Shout out to Jen Summers for coming through with the $4.99. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you.
Like, do y'all ignore my maternal line, my paternal, maternal, and paternal line? So if I got four grandparents and one line migrated from Haiti, the other three don't count. See, that's the stupidity we're getting into. We got black folks who sitting there going, "Yeah, I'm FBA. You ain't real."
What I think is unfair is Tariq Nasheed created the term FBA, and that was inspired by Dr. Claude Anderson.
Come on. Stop saying that. It was not as like you got to stop, poet. Matter of fact, let me let you keep talking.
But there are black Americans who believe in delineation, who believe.
No. Let's get this correct again for all the people who don't know. Tariq Nasheed got on this whole FBA thingy because FBA is a grift of ADOS. The ideology that Tariq is pushing comes from Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks. That's who he got it from. But Tariq is a grifter, so he needs to try to figure out how can he get his own bag off of it. So what happened was he had to come up with another term. So he tried to take the term Native Black American from Claude Anderson. Mind you, Claude Anderson did not invent that term. I don't even think he even said Native Black American. I think he said Native Blacks. Tariq tried to push that as his own little separate clique, but saying, well, it was the same thing as ADOS. He couldn't get it to pop, and he knew he could never use NBA. That was never going to work. And also, he can't trademark Native Black American because it's an actual legitimate term. So he went back to repping ADOS, just ADOS. Then he created Foundational Black American because he could trademark that, which he does own the trademark for. Again, he owns the trademark. Should I show the video showing how he owns the trademark? Let me know. One in the comments if I should show that video again or no. I already showed it yesterday. But he owns the trademark. It has nothing to do with Claude Anderson. You have never heard Claude Anderson preach the same ideology as Tariq Nasheed. You never heard it. You never heard Claude Anderson call himself Foundational Black American or co-sign Tariq saying Foundational Black American. You never heard it. You never heard Claude Anderson claiming that black people in America are an amalgamation of mainly 90%, 90+% Aboriginal black people who are already here, who have no connection to Africa, with a little bit of Moorish explorer and a little bit of enslaved African. You never heard that. You never did. I'm getting ones in the building. So yeah, we're going to do that real quick. I'm going to let him talk a little bit more, but I'm going to go to that.
Believe their ancestry and their heritage don't begin in Africa, but those black Americans do not classify themselves with the term Tariq Nasheed created. They don't associate themselves with Tariq Nasheed. But Tariq Nasheed would have you believe that if you criticize him and people who support him, then you are going against all black Americans. That if you criticize him and his xenophobia, then you're attacking all black Americans, when not all black Americans identify with the term Tariq Nasheed created. They know what their heritage and their ancestry is. They believe in delineation, but they do not agree with Tariq.
The whole concept of delineation as we know it right now, as being said in the public lexicon right now, all comes from Yvette Carnell. And if you're jacking that, you're in agreement with Tariq Nasheed. You're in agreement with Yvette Carnell. You're in agreement with PIFA. You're in agreement with John Tanton. You're in agreement. There is no other way around it. You're in agreement. You're in agreement. Oh, shout out to Kong Guru for coming through with the $9.99. You know, they don't know their history. They don't know their history. Shout out to you for that. Because again, yeah, they don't know their history. They'll just find any reason to demonize somebody. These are a bunch of bozos. They just find any reason to just demonize other black people. But you can't, like I don't like Poetic Flock, or you running on this issue. You running too much interference. You creating too much separation from these bozos, because that's what they do. They after somebody get debunked, they always claim that they never followed them, even though they got a paper trail as long as the Mississippi of them following them, and they just do a little slight name change and a little tweak to the ideology and claim to be something different. Like, come on now.
Nasheed and xenophobia, and they do not classify themselves with the term he created. Right? Black Americans had their heritage, had their ancestry. There were Black Americans delineating far before Tariq Nasheed. So I think it's very unfair.
Name the delete. So, see, again, you are legitimizing this xenophobia by making it seem like it's not really xenophobia. Like, yeah, the way Tariq say it is xenophobia, but the concept in and of itself is not xenophobic. Like, come on now. Like, I can't believe you doing this. Like, what are you saying? Like, that's what Tariq is pushing with this quote unquote delineation goes against 500 years of Black history on this land. 500 unbroken years. Unbroken. A half a millennium. You cannot show me nowhere in Black history in the last 500 years. I'm talking about from the first enslaved Africans to be brought here in 1526 to now, today, in 2026, where there was ever a such thing as quote unquote delineation in the community, especially the way Tariq and them mean it, the people who are saying it in the modern day. You can't show it.
That when somebody criticized Tariq Nasheed and his supporters who classify themselves as FBA, they take that as, oh, you're criticizing all Black Americans. When no, you're criticizing Tariq Nasheed and his supporters. Tariq Nasheed has done a brilliant job at weaponizing the term he created against anybody he doesn't like. Roland Martin was born here.
Yes, he has done a great job weaponizing it. He has done it. And he does do that when he tries to claim if you criticizing him, you criticizing all Black people in the all Black Americans in the country. He does try to do that. But again, anybody who promoting that ideology, they in the same boat as him. Freeman, FBA, ADOS, any other splinter groups, they all in the same boat. The only reason they don't even get along with each other is because of personal reasons. Remember, Tariq fell out with ADOS for a personal reason. A personal reason. A personal, not ideological, personal.
Roland Martin parents were born here. Roland Martin grandparents were born here. 3/4 of Roland Martin great-grandparents were born here. But Tariq Nasheed will still call Roland Martin a tether. And you know why? Because he don't like Roland Martin. Tariq Nasheed is denying Roland Martin's claim to his lineage because he don't like him, right? So if Roland Martin is a tether, when he was born here, his parents were born here, his grandparents were born here, his 3/4 of his great-grandparents were born here.
But that's how the ideology works. That's how it works. See, this is the problem. A lot of y'all keep commenting on FBA and stuff like that, and y'all don't understand the history of the movement. Y'all don't understand how they put stuff together. Y'all don't be understanding their terminology. Y'all just be assuming y'all understand and know what they mean. Not understanding that they use the way they use words are not how they exist in the dictionary. When they say lineage, they don't mean the lineage as a bloodline. They don't mean that. This is why Tariq got laughed off of Vlad. Vlad couldn't stop laughing, and the whole comment section was roasting him when he said Drake is not FBA. When lineage means bloodline. And then he tried to create some new fake standard talking about blood and land. When did lineage get affected by where you was born? You know, I'm from Brooklyn. I got kids born outside of Brooklyn. Are they now not my kids or part of my lineage because they wasn't born in Brooklyn? They got my blood, but they wasn't born in Brooklyn though. Like, you gotta stop. Matter of fact, we going to that. We're gonna switch it up real quick. We're gonna go to that receipt because I got a lot of ones. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let's look at this.
As you see, family, on your screen, I'm about to go to this when Tariq got cooked by Grok. I'm gonna start here because, as you can see, the person asks, "How can a lineage-based movement have a leader?" Which is stupid in itself. A movement, by definition, has a leader. But we're gonna go to this. We're gonna get right here. Jesse Jackson coined the term African American in the 80s. Does that make him their leader? No. Jesse Jackson popularized African American as a broad ethnic term in the 1980s, but didn't found an organized movement or trademark it. Tariq Nasheed explicitly founded FBA as a reparations-focused group, trademarked it, USPTO, that's the U.S. government, and leads its advocacy through media, and events. Remember, he did the reparations event and all that other stuff. This is Tariq, the bozo. Grok, please stop lying on me. You told two blatant lies. One, I did not found a movement. I acknowledge a lineage. Two, I never created a reparations focused group. I helped popularize and correct ethnic term like you claim Jesse did. Why do you choose to lie, Grok? This is Grok's response. I appreciate the clarification, Tariq Nasheed. However, per USPTO records, serial number 97309-615, you own the Foundational Black Americans trademark since 2022. Wikipedia and sources like Black Agenda Report credit you as founder of the FBA movement, which emphasized reparations for descendants of U.S. slavery. This aligns with your public statements and films. I'm basing this on verified information, not lies. Let's discuss facts. Let's discuss facts.
Yeah. Let's discuss facts. But I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let me see. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with another 5. Exactly. That's exactly why. Remember, that's why Tariq says, oh, that's what he was saying the other day. Barack Obama is a Black American. Kamala Harris is a Black American. They're Black. Westmore is Black Americans. We're foundational Black Americans. We're foundational Black Americans. Can't make this up. But yeah, let me fast forward to the part right here.
That part. So this is just a follow-up to my last video about Tariq Nasheed dancing around, owning, and creating FBA. Now, also, make sure you donate to me to support the channel.
That's it.
Black Americans, let's get into that because we got this. I want to deal with this one right here. Disclaimer with predetermined text. That one right there where it says Black Americans, let's get into that because we got to define that before we do anything else. What does disclaimer with predetermined text mean in regard to a trademark? Here's the answer. Usually the examiner wants it clear that you are disclaiming any right to a generic word. For example, if you use the word association in your mark, you do not acquire any rights in that word. Anyone can use the same word in their mark. As you heard, he got the disclaimer for Black American. Why? Because he's claiming no connection between ownership or connection between foundational Black American and Black American. That's clearly showing that they're not the same thing and that they are different. And you know why he did that? Because you can't trademark Black American because Black American is an ethnic group. It's a racial identity. It cannot be trademarked. It's a people. But foundational Black American can be trademarked because it's not a people. This is clearly, as you see right now with the paperwork, Tariq acknowledging that FBA and Black American are not the same thing, and FBA is a group. That's how he was able to get the trademark. It's something he owns. And we're going to go through that even more. Watch this.
Yeah, I think we done did a good job with that. Just explaining and exposing the issue with FBA. Again, you see that he got the disclaimer saying I'm not making any ownership, no claim to Black American. Why? Because he tried to trademark it before and it got rejected because he didn't put the disclaimer for Black American. And they was like, you can't own Black American. You can't do that. That's why he had to refile and let them know, like, I'm not claiming that Black American part. I'm claiming the phrase foundational Black American. But Black American, nah, that ain't got nothing to do with me. The bozo. This is what I was saying. Shout out to everybody still in the building. Yeah, we about to get back to Poetic Flacco and let him keep talking. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let me see something. Oh yeah, I already addressed it. Shout out to you again. That's amazing for coming through with that 5 for the triple up. Like, come on now. Let's get back to this. Let me make sure the audio is good. Yeah, let's rock.
Right? The overwhelming majority of his lineage dates back to civil rights and to slavery, but Roland Martin is a tether, according to Tariq Nasheed, because he doesn't like him. When Black Americans have claimed their lineage, like Black Americans have delineated far before Tariq Nasheed and that term he created. So criticizing Tariq Nasheed and his supporters will be seen as you criticizing all Black Americans by them, because that's the trick that Tariq Nasheed pulled, right? Like, they will say that I'm anti-Black Americans and I'm a quote-unquote tether when I criticize Tariq Nasheed and his supporters. Even though I've been on record saying I support the delineation of Black Americans, I support the fight for reparations, I support it 100%, and I think reparations belongs to Black Americans.
Again, reparations was just a bait and switch. I mean, that was just the hook to get people to join. That's it. They were never about reparations. They never fought about reparations. This is why Tariq is still silent to this day about the Trump administration joining with Ed Blum trying to stop actual reparations from happening in America.
Even though, again, I'm a strong advocate for, if other groups of Black people, Haitians, Nigerians, Ghanaians, if they get to be proud of their culture and they get to identify uniquely with their culture, then why shouldn't Black Americans? So I support delineation, I support reparations, and I support everything that the Black Americans that I know are fighting for, right? I'm an ally. So, but I still get...
You are an ally of Tariq Nasheed. If you are supporting anybody who is fighting for what you just said, you are an ally of Tariq Nasheed, because they all working together for the same purpose, for the same goal. Like, this is like, you cannot support anybody who you just said you would support and say that you're against Tariq Nasheed. They all preaching the same message, all of them. Wait, time out. Somebody said something about Malcolm X. Well, according to that, isn't Malcolm X FBA? No, he's not. Let's hear Tariq explain why Malcolm X is not FBA, or say it out his own mouth. Shout out to you. I forgot. I just saw the comment about Malcolm X. I think it was Rob. Shout out to you.
Meaning foundational Black Americans who are the foundation of this country. That's the group. And that group includes Dr. Martin Luther King and many other foundational Black Americans who are prominent. You dig? Because people who got a problem with American descendants of slaves, then you got a problem with Harriet Tubman, you got a problem with Malcolm X, not Malcolm, with Martin Luther King. Meaning,
also, y'all heard it, right? Y'all heard what he said. Remember, this is so all the people claiming that, FBA and ADOS is not the same thing. You heard him say that they was the same thing, and you heard him say Malcolm X is not a part of it. He only fell out with ADOS because he got mad that Yvette Carnell called him out publicly and told him, hey, you supporting Trump too blatantly. You got to calm that down. Like, you making the block hot. You making it too obvious that we Trump supporters. And then he got in his feelings, and then he went off on them. And then he said that was the last straw because they've been attacking me. Mind you, everybody asked Tariq, when did they ever attack you? Mind you, that's because Tariq watches my channel all the time. I was the one putting out videos claiming that Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks was attacking him. I was the one doing that. And then he finally just unloaded on them. Shout out to everybody in the building. Yeah, let's switch this up. Let's go.
It called anti-Black Americans because I don't agree with Tariq Nasheed and his hateful rhetoric. But all of a sudden, I become anti-Black American when I say I don't agree with Tariq Nasheed saying that babies born in Africa are born musty. I don't agree with Tariq Nasheed reiterating white supremacy talking points by claiming there's nothing positive about certain cultures in Africa, like Liberian culture and Somalian culture and Nigerian culture, Really, bro, there's nothing positive about a culture to.
Wait, we gotta stop you real quick. Shout out to a pimp named Slickback for coming through with the $9.99. Much appreciated. Let me read your comment all the way so I can address it. Exactly. Nonsense. Nonsense. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. And also, again, black people in America have an overarching racial consciousness that has not changed since slavery. Like this is not like this dude is like, again, they keep creating this fantasy in their head. Everybody know who is who. Like even going back 100 years, people knew Marcus Garvey was a Jamaican. They just didn't care. Well, let's keep going.
An entire group of people, really, bro? Really? Like there's nothing positive at all. You're right. Like these people have never contributed nothing positive to the world, really, right? So when he reiterates these talking points, when he calls groups of people racial slurs, right? When he spews xenophobic, hateful talking points like the ones I just reiterated, it is like, damn, bro, I'm all of a sudden anti-Black American because I don't support him, and people who support him. Roland Martin is now a tether, even though his ancestry dates back here, because he don't support Tariq Nasheed, and people who support Tariq Nasheed, you feel me? It's because Tariq Nasheed has done a pretty great job at conditioning people to think that if you go against Tariq Nasheed, you're going against an entire group of Black Americans. Well, no, that's not the fact.
All right, you're starting to repeat yourself, Poetic Flacco. I think you're trying to run up the run time, so I got to speed you up. Shout out to you.
Like Black Americans identify with their lineage, they identify with delineation, they identify with their heritage, and they don't believe they're African Americans. They believe they're Black Americans, and they were born here.
Black American and African American mean the same thing. Like what? Like oh my goodness, man. Black American and African American mean the same thing. I'm gonna give y'all my family history. The oldest person I ever met in my family was a Negro. Was colored. My grandmother was a Negro. My mother was born Afro-American. When I was born, I was Black. When my son was born, my oldest son, he was African-American. My youngest son was born, he was Black American. Black people, we change our name throughout the years. Like throughout the generations, we get new name changes, but they always mean the same thing. They always mean the same thing. They don't mean different things. They always mean the same thing. Shout out to McKinsley for coming through with the 5 Canadian. I think that's Canadian. Much appreciated. Exactly. It destroys the history. This is what I've been telling people for years. If we going by what you guys are saying, you're gonna break the whole Black identity. You're gonna break the whole Black history. Like you can't do it. This type of quote unquote delineation that they preaching, it's not possible. Shout out to you for the 5 and for all the support you've been giving. Shout out to you. Oh wait, somebody else supported too. Let me see. I think I got a gift. Info Love, son to gift. Shout out to you, Info Love, for sending that gift. Make sure you drop a comment so I can remember to shout you out. Because again, I'm reading on 2 different screens because the StreamYard doesn't show gifts. So I gotta have a split screen where the YouTube shows the gifts. But they don't put it where I could like give you props and show your name and stuff. So just drop a comment and I'll put you on the screen if you want to be. Shout out to you. But yeah, let's keep this going.
Before Tariq Nasheed and after Tariq Nasheed. And the overwhelming majority of Black Americans believe in their heritage and their lineage and don't agree with Tariq Nasheed. So attacking Tariq Nasheed and his xenophobia and people who think like Tariq Nasheed is not an attack on Black Americans or Black American culture. It's an attack on Tariq Nasheed and people who think like Tariq Nasheed. We'll continue this conversation on another episode of his show this week. Now, I don't agree with everything Roland Martin had to say this time around, because I don't agree that it's the duty of Black Americans to stick up for immigrants that are being deported after their TPS status, got terminated. I don't think it's their obligation. I don't think it's their duty. I think
it is our duty and our obligation because we know, for one, even if we didn't care about these people, it's our duty and obligation because we understand there are people who are doing this are coming after us next. We got to stop this now. If we don't stop them now, we're not going to be able to stop them later. That's the whole point. You can't sit back and watch somebody who's telling you the ultimate goal is you. Remember, the whole MAGA movement is basically no different. It's just basically a bunch of neo-Confederates. That's it. A bunch of people who miss Jim Crow, a bunch of neo-Confederates, a bunch of white nationalists. They want to get us. They want to get us. And if we don't stop them now, they will get us. So it is our duty. It's the same thing when I was explaining to people about voting for the Democrats. Voting for the Democrats is not voting for some mystical cabal of white people somewhere. That's voting for us. That's our side. They lose mean we lose rights. Like, what part of that is not clicking in your head? That's us. It's the same thing with the Nazis. The Nazis' first victims weren't the Jews, but the Jews was the group that they ultimately wanted to get. But they had to work their way up to the Jews by going after smaller groups. The gypsies, political enemies, the disabled. I don't know if this is the correct term to call these people because I don't know if it's offensive or not. Gypsies. Mixed people mixed with black blood. They worked their way up to the Jews. They didn't start with them. This is their way of working their way up to black people. The only reason he's hyper fixating on Haitians is because they're black. They don't want us here. They don't want us to have rights. That's why it's so dangerous for people to act like Trump being able to redefine the Constitution on the fly with his pen is somehow okay or a good thing. Like you got to stop saying this. You got to stop saying this. You already know BYB. I'm about to start. I'm still writing a little bit more, but we about to start. I'm about to start doing my BYB episodes again. Shout out to you. Shout out to Reg for coming through with the 10. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. You said Romani? That's their correct name? Romani? All right, cool. Because I didn't know. Because, I heard people still call themselves gypsies. So I was like, I don't know if this is an Inuit Eskimo situation. I'm not too familiar. But thank you. Romani. But yeah, let's keep going.
They're perfectly in their right to say, hey, bruh, y'all on y'all own, man. You feel me? That ain't our business. I think they have a right to say that, and I don't think they should be shamed for saying that.
They should be shamed for saying that. In fact, saying that is a betrayal of everything. It's one of the biggest betrayals of what it means to be black in America. You do know the first source of black American pride was Haiti, right? You do know black people who knew about the Haitian Revolution and knew about Haitian holidays, celebrated Haitian holidays in America. You are aware of that, right? You do know Frederick Douglass I think he was an ambassador to Haiti or something like that. And he constantly preached and promoted Haiti. He fought for Haiti till he died. You do know that, right? You do know Martin DeLay, the father of black nationalism. His example was Haiti. That's how he came up with black nationalism. He named one of his sons Toussaint Louverture, right? You do know a Haitian founded Chicago, right? You do know because of the Haitian Revolution, we even got the Louisiana Purchase. You are aware that, like Tariq said, New Orleans is a Caribbean satellite, and by Caribbean satellite he means of Haiti. You do know New Orleans, that whole little Gulf Coast area region in general, New Orleans specifically, is the second most important city in the history of black America, but only behind New York. What's not clicking? There's some other things I meant to say. Yeah, Carter G. Woodson. When Carter G. Woodson, father of black history in America, when he used to teach people about having black pride and was teaching people to have black pride, his example was Haiti. Haiti was the source of all black pride. That's why Martin Luther King said Marcus Garvey came later and taught us Black pride on a large scale, but he didn't invent it. He didn't start it. Like, what do you mean? Of all groups of if anybody that Black people in America owe some type of loyalty to, no matter what, it's Haitians. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, y'all can hear the fireworks in the background?
I just saw that thing flash right there. That's quite interesting because it's October of this year, 2025. 4,499 refugees have been allowed into the United States. 4,496 of those folks have been white South Africans. That is a fact. What we are seeing here, Matt, is pure, unadulterated racism. And what we have to deal with here, Mike.
Exactly about the point of him only letting in white South Africans, mainly only white South Africans. Like, that's like 99% of the group was white South Africans and probably some other white people from somewhere else. Like, this is our issue. This is our issue. They're trying to bring back segregation. They're trying to create a white ethno state. That's our issue. Like, nonsense. Like, again, Poetic Flacco is sitting around pushing Tariq Nasheed's talking points without even knowing it. Because why? He's talking to somebody else who's pushing Tariq Nasheed's talking points, but just says they're not cool with Tariq. But they somehow agree with everything Tariq is saying, and they're pushing the same exact message.
In Nicole, is that when these ADOS FBA people, when they spout language, the anti-immigration language, even anti-Black immigration language, they sound just like Tom Emmer. They sound just like Stephen Miller. They sound just like Donald Trump. They literally, Michael, are speaking for white nationalists.
Absolutely is white supremacy through ventriloquism.
If this was in reference to the people who are in support of ICE, who are in support of the deportation of these immigrants, who are in support of Stephen Miller, racist immigration policies, understood. But if this was referencing just anybody who says, hey, bruh, it's not my business, quite frankly, I don't care what happens to him.
He never said that. See, now you run an interference. They specifically said who they was talking about. The ADOS FBA crowd. I'm throwing Freeman in there too and all the other splinter groups. They specifically named who they was talking about, Poetic Flacco. They didn't just say randomly anybody who's opposed to ICE or anybody who thinks mass immigration into America is not a good thing. He never said that. He never said that. You putting words in their mouth. They made it exactly clear who they talking about. Come on now. You running interference. This is interference you doing right now. Oh, shout out to V. David for coming through with this information. I did not know his son joined the 54th Massachusetts. I did not know that. I didn't know. Matter of fact, I thought his sons was too young to join because he had a bunch of boys. I don't think he had no daughters. I know Frederick Douglass's sons joined, but I didn't know his son joined. That's crazy. Thank you. Learn something new every day. Shout out to RBG for the win, for coming through with the $4.99 sticker. Much appreciated. Thank you for all your support.
I got my own thing going on over here, right? I'm Black American. I'm not Haitian. I don't care about Haitian or other immigrants. If that's referencing to them, then I think you're wrong because they have a right to support what they want to support.
That's not made in reference to them. They made it clear who they referencing. They made it clear. Oh, you say he joined at 15. That's why. Because I'm like, his sons joined the war. I thought his sons was too young to join in the Civil War. Because I remember I remember Frederick Douglass was like, I'm too old to fight, but my son's gonna fight. And I remember Martin DeLay fighting, but he had a bunch of little kids. Oh, see, you learn something new every day. His son joined at 15. Exactly, Mackenzie. Haitians were a part of the American Revolution as well. No, Poetic Flacco is not Haitian. He's Afro-Liberian. And that's another thing. Like, that's a disgrace as you being Afro-Liberian running interference for the xenophobic hate cult that don't see you as they people either and don't want you here neither. Yeah, that's Frederick Douglass. Didn't Frederick Douglass have 2 sons that served in the American Revolution? He had 2 sons, right? But yeah, let's get back to this. Let's let him tell some lies.
And they have a right to ignore what they want to ignore. And if they say, hey, man, we got our stuff going on over here, that ain't our business, leave us alone, then they have every right to do that. And, and it's not right to, to shame them into, trying to support this or shame them into trying to march with these folks or support these folks, right? It's not their business. If they don't want to support, they don't have to support. However, standing by while somebody get jumped is a lot different than joining in on the jumping. So if you stand by and say, hey, man, it's not my business. I don't know you from a can of paint, bruh. I'm not hopping in when them folks jump you, bruh. Handle your own candle. Handle on your own. Leave me alone. That's one thing. They can't really blame you, right? If they made their own issues and they're getting jumped, they can't blame a total stranger for not stepping in.
What issues did Haitians make other than being black? What issues did Haitians make other than being black? Palmer, you say he's Liberian. He one of the native Liberians. He's not an Afro-Liberian. All right, cool. Cool. Thank you for that clarification. Like, come on now. This is ridiculous. What did Haitians do to create their situation? Your analogy is not holding up. It's not holding up.
To defend them. However, if that total stranger hops in and begins to attack them too, aka they begin to speak out in support of the deportation, they begin to speak out in support of Stephen Miller's racist immigration policies, they begin to join in with the white supremacists to go against the immigrants. Now, like, you're foul. Like, that's one thing, and you're foul for that. But if it's not your business and you don't care, then nobody can shame you for that, right? You have your right to ignore what you want to ignore. But ignoring and then hopping in and supporting it is one thing, right? And I think he's referring to a specific group of people, a very specific niche of people on social media, on Twitter, who identify with Tariq Nasheed, right? Again, a very small group, not all Black Americans, a very small group of people who identify with Tariq Nasheed. They're saying deport them all. They're saying F them immigrants. They're jumping in with the white supremacists to attack these immigrants. And that's where I think the problem lies. Because you could sit by and say, hey, man, that ain't our business. Leave us alone, bro. Y'all handle your own, right? Y'all come here and y'all undermine us and y'all are disrespectful to us.
Oh, see, look, you just went full xenophobe. What is the difference? You just said that ain't got nothing to do with us. Leave us alone. Y'all come here. Y'all undermine us. Y'all disrespect us. Whose talking point is that? This is what I'm talking about. You're literally pushing Tariq Nasheed's message without pushing it. You're dissing Tariq Nasheed while pushing his message. Like, what kind of like? Come on, man. Y'all can't make this. You can't make this up. You're literally, not figuratively, literally pushing the message. You're literally pushing the message. Straight babble. Straight babble. So now Haitians come to America and undermine Black people in America? When that happened? Inquiring minds want to know, when did that happen? When did that start happening? When did I miss that? When did I miss that? When did I miss that? Let me know. Let me know. Somebody help me out. When did I miss that?
Y'all say things like, oh, we work harder. Y'all don't work hard at all. And you guys join in with the white supremacists, some of y'all, to undermine Black Americans.
So it's justified to attack everybody because what some Haitians have done, according to you. So it's justified to attack all Liberians and all Africans? Because you was surely upset and you fell out with Tariq once he talked about boycotting that African hair braider shop. Ain't no Africans ever quote unquote undermine or ever quote unquote said they work harder than Black Americans. That ain't never happened. Poetic Flacco, you sitting around, what you saying right now, you are justifying what Tariq does. You're justifying it. You just justified it. The only thing it seems that you mad about is that when it's get targeted towards Africans, and you just don't like the way he says it. Or you don't like the way, the energy he's giving in retaliation. When you can't tell somebody how to retaliate. If these Black immigrant groups are truly coming here, undermining Black people, and also talking down, you can't tell nobody how to address them, how to correct that situation. If they want to address that situation by calling them names and co-signing their deportation and telling people to boycott them, that's fair game. That's fair game. That's fair game, Poetic Flacco. According to you, they got a right to do that. So why are you crying about what Tariq doing? This is hypocritical. You justifying what they doing to Haitians based on some of them coming here, talking down, undermining. Well, that same logic can be applied to Africans. Same logic. Same logic. I heard George Bacon, the bozo, say that Liberians are undermining black people in Philadelphia. So can I use what he just said? And they be talking down. Can I use what he just said and just say, you need to get out of here? You need to get out of here, Poetic Flacco. We tired of you Liberians. Like, you need to go. Shout out to Tina for coming through with the jewels. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Salute to Tina for coming through with the jewels. Salute. Like, come on, man. I'm happy I clicked this video. I'm happy. Because I wasn't going to click it until he said he was terrified. Because I was like, well, maybe he got some type of TPS. So let me hear him talk. But you just sitting here co-signing xenophobia. You sitting here co-signing the hate cult. You're no different than Tariq Nasheed. This is the same thing Tariq Nasheed did. He somehow so anti-Yvette Carnell, but he co-signing everything she ever taught. And pushing it himself.
We don't feel like we now got to defend you from the very same white supremacists that you link up with when you get here. Handle your own. They're 100% justified. But saying, hey, I'm finna jump in with the white supremacists and help them attack you and help them go at you and help them victimize you, that's different, bro. And that's foul. But so
that's not foul. That makes sense. If somebody is here undermining me, attacking me, and doing all kind of bad things to me, I got a right to respond. And the fact that they getting jumped by their own homies don't change that fact. Like, that's in gangs. You know how many people was in gangs going against the other gangs and then got put off by their gang? And then the gang that they was going against see them and get active? You think that's not fair because it's like you're ganging up on me. I got to fight my own ex-homies and now you come in to fight me too? Come on, man. That's not fair. No, that's totally fair. You wanted smoke, now it's smoke. You wanted smoke, now it's smoke. Totally fair. Totally fair.
For, I think, the overwhelming of Black Americans who are, like watching this issue, don't really care about this issue. And they don't, you feel me? If they've been minding their own business, and shaming them for minding their own business is wrong.
That's what it is. And it reminds me of three quick points here. It reminds me of a political meme I saw in the past couple of weeks from urban intellectuals on Facebook. And it said the cockroach, out of hatred for the ant, voted for insecticide, and the fly, out of apathy, didn't vote at all. And they all died because of the consequences of an election. Okay.
Exactly. Elections have consequences. I like this brother is teaching right now. He was teaching. And when he said that FBA is white supremacy by ventriloquism, I'm having trouble pronouncing that word. Yes, he's teaching right now.
And this is how you get a white nationalist, white supremacist like Stephen Miller, who's deputy chief advisor to Donald Trump. This is the same Stephen Miller who headed up American First Legal, who rounded up white farmers to sue the U.S. government to block the $5 billion from the American Rescue Plan that was going to go to black farmers and farmers of color that John Boyd talked about here on this show a number of times.
Exactly. That's why you can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. These are our enemies. And they're picking off little groups here and there while they get the power to go after us all. We are the real target. Nonsense. Imagine justifying co-signing some racism against black people from a white nationalist who's also doing that same type of racism against your black group of black people. You can't make this up. Disgusting. I forgot to mention that. I'm happy I watched this clip about Trump and Stephen Miller and them trying to stop black people from getting reparations. And I remember FBA Bozos was trying to talk down on that money, talking about, well, it ain't only going to black people.
That dealt with discrimination against farmers of color. That was that white supremacist, white nationalists right there that rounded them up to block that. And then right now, I've said this before on the show, Roland, right now on the State Department's website, there is a level 4 travel advisory warning Americans do not travel to Haiti because of crime, violence, because of poor health care, things of this nature. And you're going to send 350,000 back there. So, and lastly, for all the black people who out here talking about reparations, this same goddamn government is suing Evanston, Illinois to block $25,000 of reparations to black people. So where the hell are you going to get reparations from?
Exactly. I exactly. Remember, I keep bringing that up. The Trump administration is now joined the lawsuit with Ed Blum against black people from blocking them from getting reparations. Mind you, it's going to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is out of session, but that's probably going to be one of the first cases they hear when they get back in session. And if the Supreme Court rules the way I think they're going to rule, that not only will make the reparations Evanston try to do illegal, it will make reparations across the board for black people at the state level and federal level illegal. It will make reparations illegal once and for all. Once and for all, to the point where nobody could give black people reparations. Even if they wanted to. Even if we got a president who wanted to give black people reparations, he would not be able to do it because he would be breaking the law. This is who they supporting. And again, this is why it was never about reparations. I told you that. That's why when people pointed that out to Yvette Carnell, what did she say? Immigration is more important than reparations. Now, come on now.
I don't think he was talking about Tariq Nasheed right here. I think he was talking about ADOS and the downvoting recommendation, because if you're...
No, he was talking about Tariq Nasheed too. Remember, he just said the person who voted, the ant that voted for insecticide because they hated roaches, and the fly who didn't vote at all is in the same boat. Remember, that's why I taught y'all. I said they was all doing Trump support, just different ways. Vote down ballot is Trump support. Because remember, Yvette Carnell said vote for every Democrat except the one running against Trump. That's Trump support. Tariq Nasheed told people don't vote, even though Tariq Nasheed voted. And people, that video when I showed Tariq Nasheed voted, we got a lot of people crying. They asking me, oh, how you get this information? It's supposed to be confidential. They not bringing up the fact that, oh, I exposed Tariq for lying. They just more mad about how I got the information. Tariq told people not to vote, even though he voted. That's Trump support. Telling somebody to vote third party or something like that, also Trump support. Come on now. He was talking about them. You running a lot of interference, Poetic Flacco. You running a lot of interference, bro.
Downvoting a Democratic candidate, you might as well just vote for a conservative, because you downvoting a Democratic candidate and just leaving room for a conservative to just win, right? Like, downvoting Democrat is voting conservative. So if you're voting conservative...
Exactly. But again, you try to run interference for Tariq saying, well, I think he's not talking about FBA right here. He's talking about ADOS because they was talking about voting down ballot and not voting for the top Democrat. Yeah, but now address the other part about the fly not voting at all.
Conservative, and just granting a pathway to have conservatives just walk into office because you're telling like all black folks who support you to downvote Democrats. Then he's like saying, hold on, bro. Okay, so if the white supremacists get into office, if the conservatives get into office, you think they'll be more receptive to reparations talk? Obviously not. But that's a problem for ADOS. I don't think Tariq Nasheed supports downvoting. I'm not going to put that on him because I don't know. I think he was talking about ADOS, but I do believe that black Americans should still push for reparations regardless of who's in office because they deserve it, right? It was promised to them and that's their right. But let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? If you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video.
We're not still watching this video. I can't believe you, Poetic Flacco. I can't believe somebody, you must have saw your numbers dropping or something. You must have saw your numbers dropping. So now you had to realize, oh man, my numbers dropping. Because you know, a lot of the FBA bozos are terminally online. So they watch a lot of stuff. So he was like, well, now I gotta, try to 50-50 it. Or if not for the FBA bozos, for the other bozos, like the Freedmen bozos, the ADOS bozos, and all the other unaffiliated bozos with this whole ass movement. James, yes, voting matters even if you don't donate. It still matters. That notion that you gotta buy a politician is not true. Not true at all. Thank you, Harris Duncan. Exactly. Tomato, tomato, tomato. Nothing but tomatoes. Nothing but tomatoes. Like, come on. Nothing but tomatoes. You said the NAACP is reparations? Oh, man, I got to put you on timeout for that. I got to put you on timeout for that. Got to put you on timeout for that. Get out of here. No, I'm talking about his overall numbers. Like, you got to think about it. Poetic Flacos uploads videos to his YouTube channel, and based on the numbers, let's say, for example, he usually gets about 10,000 views or 20,000 views, and now it's down to 13,000. And he see a bunch of comments of people saying, well, I'm not watching you no more because you bias, you bias, you bias, you bias. Now he got to feel the need to do that. Who said William Sherman was a Confederate? He was the greatest enemy of the Cavalier class. That's what he called the slave owners, the Cavalier class. Thank you. Now, let me see. I know it was somebody else who was crying that we got to get to. Who else was crying? Shout out to everybody in the building. Who else was crying? Matter of fact, I want to touch on this a little bit. We're not going to be long with this one. With this one. This is with Tariq. It's not. We're not going to be too long with this one. I'm gonna even speed it up because he's trying to address something Trump said. Shout out to everybody in the building.
We're in the building. We're in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the building. Round of applause to you. All right. What's going on, family? You guys good? How y'all living? We're doing the late night tapping. I don't even know what time it is. I know it's late. It's just late and my ass is up and I'm at a casino in damn Tulsa, Oklahoma. Up just doing shit. So what's
exactly? Tariq is up at a casino in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He gambled away all the donations. So now he got to do a stream real quick so he could get some more money to gamble some more. You can't make this up. Like he said, he don't even know what time it is. He just popped up and did a late night stream while he sitting at a casino. You know why he did that? He blew that money. So he got to get that right back. Let me just tap in and just say a bunch of nonsense so people could donate to me so I could get back to gambling. You can't make this up. Didn't Tariq just say in the last show about how he about to be, when the lady was talking about organizing, and he was like, yeah, we definitely got to get on that. How you organizing at a casino? And I'm pretty sure you're going to hit up one of those them Indian casinos too, because you in Oklahoma. I know you ain't going to leave without hitting up one of those casinos. Can't make this up.
What's up with y'all, man? I was just down in the casino on the damn slots. Man, so I'm here just up doing shit out here in Tulsa. I'm up, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Tulsa. I'm having a ball out here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, man. Any Tulsa people in here, shout out to Tulsa. I'm having a great time out here in Tulsa. I was coming out here anyway, but when I found out they had slots, they got casinos, I forgot that all these Indian tribes out here, and they got all these casinos, and I love it. I love me a good casino. So I'm having a ball out here.
Oh my God. I told y'all. Like, again, I did not watch this video. Y'all know I don't watch Tariq. I don't pre-watch Tariq in the videos. If I do, I'll let you know. This is crazy. He literally telling y'all this is why he doing it. Like, he came out here, he gambled up his money. Now he just doing shit. So now let me just jump on live real quick, see if I can get some dollars out these dudes, because you know them slot machines ran my pockets. And why you even want to go to the quote unquote Indian casinos? I thought they were Siberians. Why you calling them Indians? Ain't they Siberians? Ain't y'all the real Indians? Why are you supporting the racist Siberians? Why are you doing that? The cosplaying racist $5 Indian Siberians. Why are you doing that?
With these casinos out here, they got like free soda machines and free coffee. The coffee's good as hell, and everybody's just hopped up. I had some of that good ass coffee. They know what they're doing. They want to keep your ass up, so you just keep gambling, putting money in these damn machines. They got free coffee everywhere, nigga. These machines, these casinos are slick.
Yep, and you fell for it. You took that free coffee. You was up gambling. You lost a good amount of money, so now you got to do a live stream to try to get some of that money back. Shout out to Konguru for coming through with the $199. Yeah, he definitely do, because Tariq be gambling like crazy. He be gambling like crazy. Every time you always Tariq is always at a casino somewhere, crying about losing money, crying about getting cheated.
Oh, they lure niggas in, boy. They ain't got no clocks. You don't know what time it is. Free drinks, free coffee. So you just up throwing your money away. I said, let me get my ass upstairs and talk to y'all. Y'all need to have an intervention with my ass. So I'm here. Let me shout out some of the family before I get started.
Yep, exactly. Tariq was was down there playing, and he lost all that damn money. So now he come upstairs to try to get some money. Remember, he just said, I don't even know what time it is. And he just said he was down there gambling. They ain't got no clocks. He don't even know. He just know he gambled his money away. And now he coming upstairs to talk to the family because they need a quote unquote intervention. LOL. Now make sure y'all donate. While I talk nothing. You cannot make this up, bro. I'm happy I clicked this. I'm happy because I was supposed to be clicking on another video. I can't find it right now. I was trying to find another video of an FBA bozo crying. But, oh my God. You can't make this up, man. You can't.
Let me shout out the family. Some of the regulars in here. I see Stephanie. I see she's been upheld by the Supreme Court also. So these different time zones are just throwing me off. So I don't know what time it is right now. But we're here. We're here. And I'm glad everybody's up chopping it up with me. First thing I want to talk about is, people are still talking about the birthright citizenship decision. It's been upheld by the Supreme Court. And as we know, changing the Constitution, that's not an easy task, which is understandable. People don't really want to mess around with that Constitution. You kind of want to leave a lot of things. You want to leave.
As it should. It was upheld as it should have been. Keep going.
Leave it be. I get it. But people are still talking about the birthright citizenship. And the great thing about the conversation about birthright citizenship is that people are now discussing who were the progenitors of that, who it was originally for. And that's a great thing. You cannot talk about the Amendment birthright citizenship without talking about foundational Black Americans. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? I'm getting the thing where my connection, it says it's lost. You guys can hear me good, right? If y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Okay, we good. We good, okay. So like I said, man, Clarence Thomas, and we know he's done some buck dancing and samboing in the past, but Clarence Thomas is a foundational Black American. And he spoke truth to power as far as the main reason for birthright citizenship. He stood on lineage business. I give credit where credit is due. He's done some Sambo things in the past, but a broken clock is right twice a day. Let me read this article where they're talking about Clarence Thomas. They said on the final.
No, and again, like I always say, we don't keep broken clocks in our house to get 2 minutes of correct time. And you need to find out what time it is, Tariq. You're talking about, I don't know because of time zones. That's a lie. Because when you switch time zones, your phone switched time zones with you. You don't know what time it is because you was out down there getting drunk and gambling all your money away. That's the only thing you know. I'm out of money, and you know right where to go to get some more money. Like a true addict. Can't make this up.
Day of the Supreme Court's current session, the justices issued a landmark 6-3 ruling affirming birthright citizenship, a legal principle by which children born in the United States are automatically considered U.S. citizens. The ruling rejects an executive order issued by Trump that would have limited citizenship to cases in which at least one parent was already a citizen. The Supreme Court upholds citizenship promised to every freeborn person in this land. Well, let me skip down to Clarence Thomas part. Okay. Where's Clarence Thomas? I'm trying to get down to his part. Where is it? Come on, it's a long ass article.
Exactly. He probably told him, he probably gambled on credit a little bit. And he probably told people like, yo, listen, you don't know me? I'm Tariq Nasheed. Look at all this money I be getting from my lives. I'm about to go live right now. Don't worry about it. I got your bag. I got the bag. I got the bag. Come on. Let me just get upstairs. Let me just get somewhere quiet. Let me stream. Come on. I got you.
Okay. Okay. Where the hell is this? Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Clarence Thomas dissented, arguing that the citizenship clause was primarily meant to formally enslave Black Americans and their descendants. Quote, Clarence Thomas said Blacks were entitled to citizenship because they were American. They had no other homeland, owed no allegiance to any foreign power, and were subject to no other authority. Thomas wrote in the dissent.
That's more nonsense. They was never Americans. That's the thing that white lady who designed the Juneteenth flag said. Why I gotta be red, white, and blue? Because the slaves was always American. They was not always American. That's cap. If they was always American, we wouldn't even needed the 14th Amendment.
The same could not
they wouldn't even have been enslaved because no American could have been a slave.
Not be said for the children of foreign temporary visitors. That's a bar right there. That is a bar. That's absolutely true. And Ketanji Brown Jackson and her.
Shout out to Julius in the building. You hit the nail on the head. All that anti-Native American talk, just to you got all these people donating money to you talking about, yeah, we the real Aboriginal. Those Siberians, those $5 Indians, those Siberians, they not the real natives of this land. We've been here. Got all that money talking that talk just to go to their casinos and give it away to them. And now you done blew a bag. Now you on live talking babble so you can just get another bag. You babbling to get another bag. Exactly. 3/5 of a human. Thank you. Shout out to everybody in the building. That was you who sent me that, Kangaroo? Who sent me with the O'Shea talking bad about the South African person? If that was you, after this, we're going to cover that. I'm definitely going to cover that. Shout out to you. Because I don't remember. I knew somebody had sent me something. And I was like, all right, when I see them in the building, I'm going to make sure I cover it. Because I don't want to cover it without them being here. So that was you. All right, cool. We're going to cover that after we finish this. Bag babble. Exactly. Peace, Jimmy.
Her concurring opinion, she took Thomas to task, according to this article, for his alleged narrow interpretation of history. She said, despite his longstanding endorsement of a colorblind constitution, Justice Thomas now surprisingly suggests that the citizenship clause was a race-conscious remedial measure relating only to freed slaves such as Dred Scott, Jackson wrote. She dismissed Thomas's view, arguing that his narrow vision of the 14th Amendment bears little relationship to the history of its ratification. Bullshit. Again, it was for us. It was for us. And that's the main thing. People are talking about who it's for. Trump, after the decision, he did a speech and he kept saying, using the term, and he's used this term before, this thing was made for the babies of slaves. Let me play the audio. Trump has repeatedly said the 14th Amendment was.
Tariq don't know what he's talking about. Ketanji Brown, she is right. And she, not only was she right about about what birthright citizenship actually means, she was right about Clarence Thomas being a hypocrite. He always talking about the Constitution is colorblind when it's time to try to strip Black people of their rights. But now magically you see color, just like everybody else. When it's time to take stuff from Black people, they don't see color. When it's time to try to use Black people as a justification to try to take stuff from other people, now they see color. Just like Ankota. Oh, we can't give Black people reparations. We can't do right by other groups because we haven't even done right by Black people in America yet. Are you for Black people doing right by Black people in America? No. So why do you even bring us up?
For the babies of slaves. Let me play the audio. Hold on.
It was the most important, and we want some others. It was the most important decision of all of them, I think. But we'll take care of the birthright citizenship because that was not meant for rich people from other countries. It was meant for. Actually, it was meant for the babies of slaves. If you look at it, it was a month after the Civil War ended that it went through. That's because it was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for rich people from China. It was, they came over in Gulf Streams. It was meant for the babies of slaves. So I believe, no, I know they got it wrong, but that's okay because they gave us something that nobody thought. But they also gave us something in one of the sessions a year ago was called merit. Our country now is based again on merit.
All right. Okay. Excuse me. Now that's significant.
Babble. Again, that's something Trump made up. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that. No Supreme Court has ever affirmed that position. He just made that up.
Again, that's a great thing that us as a distinct ethnic group and lineage is being discussed openly. That's very important, ladies and gentlemen. We have Trump repeating the term babies of slaves. That's foundational Black Americans. He's talking about a specific ethnic.
Why he ain't say foundational Black American? And also, that's not the correct terminology. The correct terminology is descendants of enslaved Africans in the United States of America. And we were formerly enslaved, and the descendants of the formerly enslaved Africans in the United States of America. In the United States, not United States of America, United States.
Group. The Supreme Court is talking about a specific ethnic group. We are a specific ethnic group. This is the conversation we need to have. This is a great thing. Now, the Democrats, all the Democrat shills, step to the front. Let me talk to you. Democrat shills, let me talk to you. What's up, Nikki the God? I see you, beloved. Democrat shills, you're going to have to step it up now.
Now people are Democratic shills for simply acknowledging the Constitution says what it says because Trump's saying something different. So Trump is the authority. Because again, the only people saying you can't show me any Supreme Court decision that is affirming this. You can't show me this in the plain text of the Constitution, nor can you show me in the notes of the people who created the birthright citizenship clause that's what they meant. You can't find that. You can't find that. I'm waiting for you to find that. Show me that. Shout out to for all the fire emojis. I just seen the fire emojis. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for all the support.
You have Trump, who y'all keep saying is the enemy, the enemy, the enemy. Okay, whatever. He's doing something that you are not doing. Respectfully acknowledging our unique ethnic group. Whereas you Democrat shills, you have these people attacking our ethnic group all the damn time, telling us we're a hate group, and you send your Democrat flunkies to attack our ethnic group and try to diminish our ethnic group and deal.
I started that ADOS was a hate group, and I started that FBA was a hate cult. Thank you.
Legitimize our ethnic group and try to make us generic Africans. Y'all gonna have to step it up. The foundational Black American blueprint of the 14th Amendment has to be acknowledged, and it's being acknowledged. The 14th Amendment was never drafted as a generic multicultural catch-all for global immigration. It was a specific targeted constitutional remedy drafted exclusively for foundational Black Americans to overturn the Dred Scott decision. When the opposition explicitly states on the national stage that birthright citizenship was meant for the babies of slaves, y'all said he was the opposition, but he's telling the truth. That forces an undeniable historical truth into the mainstream.
It's not. What part of that don't you understand? That's wrong. That's wrong. Like again, we're gonna let you speak a little bit more, and then we might have to get off this. Because again, I just wanted to see what you had to say. I'm happy I clicked this because now we confirm that Tariq Nasheed is in fact a gambling addict. That's why he be doing all these late night sessions, because he be up gambling and then he wake up. He be up gambling and then he run out of money. So he do these late night sessions so he could get more money so he could go back to gambling.
The Democrat establishment, you can no longer gaslight the public about who built the constitutional infrastructure that everybody else is currently utilizing. All right? These are the conversations we're going to have with the Democrats.
Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with the 10. Yes, I realize that. And you know what's also so funny? If you're paying attention, this could be the way that they try to say Black people are not citizens by saying that the birthright citizenship clause only covered the children of the enslaved. It wasn't meant to work in perpetuity. Because I remember I said that before. That's one of the ways they could go after the 14th Amendment and strip black people of their citizenship by arguing that the 14th Amendment was never meant to work in perpetuity for the descendants of the enslaved Africans in America. It was never meant to work in perpetuity. And they could try to argue that too by the fact that Native Americans had to get a separate law to become citizens. Most people don't know that. Native Americans became citizens via a separate law. Shout out to you again. Thank you. Thank you so for that 10. Yeah, let's keep going.
That's when they come around with their little shaming tactics. All of that extraction and reassignment of foundational Black American political capital, that's a no-go at this point. The Democrat Party, they perfected a model of political extraction. They utilize foundational Black American civil rights struggle, foundational Black American civil rights amendments and constitutional amendments, because again, the conversation is all about who that 14th Amendment was for, and that was for foundational Black Americans. They use our blood equity, and they use all of this to create policies that benefit non-FBA immigrant groups. And when it's time to distribute tangibles, they refuse to name the source. All right? That's a deliberate strategy of trying to reassign foundational Black American political capital to other groups, while you tell us, foundational Black Americans, we got to wait in the back of the line. We got to shut up and vote, get the catfish nuggets, and just go along with it. People acknowledging the true origin of birthright citizenship, that exposes that whole extraction. This is a great conversation, and we need to hop on it and keep the conversation going in this direction, ladies and gentlemen. See, the Democrats need that. They need a generic African voting bloc illusion. See, the reason why they attack.
Again, still talking about Black immigrants. Shout out to Pre-Sell in the building. Maybe not go nowhere. Remember, Black people was in America for centuries as non-citizens. When the Civil War ended, there were, like, I think 400,000 free Black people in America who were not citizens. They were free, but they weren't citizens. Being free doesn't automatically make you a citizen. Remember, that's why we had the 13th Amendment that made us free, but the 14th Amendment made us citizens. So that's the thing. They most likely want us to stay here as non-citizens. They might want some of us to go, to trim our numbers and try to say, well, you need to go back to Africa, go to Liberia, or whatever the case may be. But they'll be perfectly happy to have us still in this country, but as non-citizens who can't vote. We could work, we could go to jail, we could pay taxes, we could do all that other stuff, but we can't. But we are not citizens, we cannot vote, we can't run for office. They'll be happy to have it that way. Be happy. Generic African, that's a term Tariq made up to try to say that, oh, by acknowledging we got African ancestry, or by acknowledging we all Black, having race consciousness, that makes us generic Africans, and that means there's nothing special about us, which is nonsense. Nonsense. Shout out to That's Amazing again for coming through with another 5. Yes, that's also another point. Trump has also said that he wanted to deport American citizens. Remember, that's why he said that to the president of El Salvador. He told him that he needed to build like 4 more Seacocks, or however you say that word, because he wants to send people there. He said that off the record and on the record. And the people he was describing, he was talking about Black people, talking about, oh, we got people who need to go because, they doing knockout games and this and that, certain crimes. He was alluding to Black people. Like
us, who assert our specific lineage, is because our lineage destroys the whole generic African or the generic minority voting bloc strategy. See, as long as the Democrats can just lump us into this monolithic umbrella, they can exploit our sheer numbers so they can pass legislation and then hand the benefits of that legislation to newly arrived immigrants, ladies and gentlemen. So when you acknowledge foundational Black American lineage, we stop all that exploitation, because that now demands specific accountability, no generic pacification. You see, every time an immigrant group claims birthright citizenship, they are standing directly on the foundation of Black American infrastructure. That's why I don't take no goddamn respect from nobody. Excuse me. I don't take no respect, no disrespect from any of these foreigners. Nobody. You cannot come over here, bring your ass here, and show any form of disrespect. Every nugget of rights and benefits you get comes directly from foundational Black Americans. That 14th Amendment, the civil rights, all of it, without any exception, comes from our fight and our struggle. There will not be no goddamn disrespect under no circumstance. That's why I'm hard body on any of that shit. You understand? The Democrats, they don't want to acknowledge this, but we're forcing them to, because once you admit who built the infrastructure, then you got to eventually pay the damn builders. You understand? They want to try to keep.
Shout out to Naps in the building. Go subscribe to Naps channel. Exactly. And look, he about to run another. He about to promote the reparations scam right now. Well, he about to say, well, by getting them to acknowledge who the foundation is and who is the builders, then they would have to, pay reparations. They got to pay us. Nonsense. Total lie.
Treating our constitutional rights like a public park that any group can use without paying a goddamn maintenance fee to the specific lineage who put it down like that. You see? And for decades, man, the political establishment, they've sanitized the history of the 14th Amendment to make it seem like it's all.
Wait, time out. Didn't Trump acknowledge that Black people help build America? Yeah, he did, right? But Trump is also the one who said that Black people shouldn't get reparations because slavery was legal. The Trump administration is also right now working with Ed Blum to keep Black people from getting reparations. So how is all that delineation and being recognized going to get us paid when the people that you celebrating and booty clapping for, who's doing that, they're the ones saying we shouldn't get paid? Like, come on now, make it make sense. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with another 5. Exactly, it does. Just like they both mix and match from each other and just rework each other's terms. Like, for example, Tariq say fleer, she say runner. When Tariq was saying tether, because remember, tether originally was about quote unquote being a cosplayer. I think Yvette would say cosplayers. She was like, oh, they cosplaying. He would say tether, but he started saying cosplay too.
Always been a broad, inclusive civil rights victory for the entire globe. Now that the truth has been spoken on a massive platform that this was specifically for the babies of the enslaved foundational Black Americans, that sanitized narrative is dead. You cannot leverage on a foundational Black American protection to shield immigrant groups while trying to erase the foundational Black American presence from the narrative. See, that's what people want to do. That's literally tethering. That's like the movie Us. That's where the term tether comes from.
Look at that. Yeah, Tariq sound like that because he probably got a lot of coke in his nose. He wasn't just gambling. He was getting coked up. That's why his nose, he sound like that. Getting coked up, getting drunk, gambling all his money away. Don't know what time it is, even though he got a cell phone. And got to just jump on live real quick to get some donations. Yeah, it probably wasn't security standing over him. It was probably a drug dealer standing over him. Like, where my money at? And Tariq like, wait, chill. Let me go live real quick. I'm going to get your money. That could be the situation here. Yes, it's gross. Yes, Tina, very gross. Let's get back to this.
You have this underground group of people who are tethers trying to destroy the real family so they can replace them. We're not having that type of nonsense. You're going to name the damn source of where this stuff comes from. Moving forward, man, it is imperative that y'all goddamn Democrats, you're going to name the source. You're not going to sit up here and attack our damn lineage all the time while you use all of the benefits of our lineage to help all these other groups. You understand? I'm out here in Tulsa, Oklahoma right now. Respect to Tulsa, beautiful, and I love the energy and I love the spirit and I feel the energy of the ancestors out here. I was over at the Greenwood Archer area where our foundational Black American ancestors were attacked by white tea supremacists. You can feel that energy over there. The Democrats never produced justice. They let the survivors sit up.
Why didn't the Republicans produce justice? Also, you talking about Tulsa where people fled from. I thought FBA don't flee. Shout out to everybody from Tulsa. Shout out to everybody who died during the race massacre of Black Wall Street. Shout out to all of them. Like, shame, sad. And you got bozos like him trying to use and abuse their legacy. Yep, Justin March, he ran off on the plug. But the plug caught him. That's why he had to make it his business to get there and get on that stream. He tried to run, but no.
There and get elderly without producing justice. The Democrats did that. The Democrats brought their asses out here and started dancing a jig and then left. No, we don't do that. We're not doing that. This is justice time. This is justice time, ladies and gentlemen. We're not doing all of that symbolic nonsense while you give.
Of course, Purcell. That's exactly what he does. Like I always said, like he learned that from the white nationalists. That's 2010's white nationalist talk, where you try to pretend you're not really a white nationalist, and you be like, "Oh, well, in my opinion," or you trying to take both sides not take both sides, but you trying to leave enough room so that people can't say that this is what you stand for. Like, ridiculous. Shout out to Cameroon for coming through with the 199. Whole lot of ones beat a whole lot of nuns any day of the week. Thank you, Cameroon Breezy Goat. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Let me see. What's the name? Lucky. Luck. How do you donate? You can donate any way that's best for you. Any way that's best for you. But what's best if you want to donate what's best for me? PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. It's in the pinned comment. You hit one of those, let me know that you're hitting it, and I'll shout you out if you want to be shouted out, or I'll say the amount if you want to. That's it. That's it. You know, I take it all. A whole lot of ones beat a whole lot of nuns. I always say that. PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. Joining the channel. What is it? Super thanks, super chat, super sticker. I take it all. The gifts, I take it all. Yep, plausible deniability. For plausible deniability, that's it. That's it. For plausible deniability.
Tangible benefits to all these other groups. And we've done so much and been through so much and paved the way for so many people. You're not going to have your flunkies just attacking our lineage all the time and trying to reduce our lineage and trying to diminish our lineage. Excuse me. You're not going to just reference civil rights or equal protection in a vacuum anymore.
Get that coke.
You're going to explicitly acknowledge that these legal precedents exist because of foundational Black Americans. And if you don't want to name the source, that's going to expose your clear intent to keep trying to operate a political Ponzi scheme off our damn history. Man, I've been all over the country in this last week. This is my birthday week. My birthday week, I wanted to just power up on a lot of ancestral energy. I'm hearing.
Oh, forget a birthday weekend. He having a birthday week. You heard what he said? Birthday week. He been having a birthday week. And now, and you see how he caught himself. Yeah, I'm having a birthday week. That's why I'm all over the place. But remember, I'm trying to get some of that ancestral energy. Ridiculous. Oh, somebody hit me on the Cash App. Drop if whoever donated to me on the Cash App, make sure if you want to be known, let me know. So just say it was me, and I'll shout you out. But if not, that's cool. Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Tulsa now, getting some of that energy of the family here. I was in Georgia last week. I was in Atlanta. I went up to Lake Lanier. I was soaking up some of that energy, paying respect to Lake Lanier. Then I went over to Alabama, where my family was. I went down to the Montgomery Riverboat area where they had Fade in the Water, gave respect to them. Went down the road to Selma, where my blood family is. I went to the church, Mount Gilead Baptist Church. That was the early hub of the civil rights movement. That's where they organized the Selma marches. That's where they organized the first Black Panthers. Do y'all know the Black Panthers originally came out of Alabama? How many of y'all knew that? Raise your hand if you knew that. The Black Panthers did not start in Oakland. That's where Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale and those guys got the idea from. They got the idea from Alabama. There was a Black.
Right, you babbling now, Tariq. You're babbling. Oh, I saw it, Presell. Yeah, so shout out to Presell for sending that cash app. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, somebody else sent the cash app too. So we got 3 people. One is Presell and 2 other people. So y'all let me know if y'all want to shout out or not. But by name. But if you don't, that's fine. I still much appreciated. I'm gonna give you that shout out. So you know I saw it and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah. You said it was you, Iceberg? Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tina, his birthday week is turning into a birthday. It's about to turn into a birthday month. Because again, you just said you was in Georgia last week celebrating your birthday. This is a new week. How long your birthday week supposed to go on? It went from a birthday weekend to a birthday week. It's about to turn into a birthday month. About to turn into a birthday month. You can't make this up. I don't know if I take crypto. Like, I don't know. Like, if you donate crypto, will it turn into regular money or will it just stay crypto? Because I had like Bitcoin a little bit on the Cash App, but I don't got it no more. But I don't know. I'll look into that. But thank you for asking, because I'll definitely look into that. I'll definitely look into that. But shout out to you. So, okay, yeah. So I got 3 people. 3 people. 2 of them made them be known. Purcell and Iceberg. The other person who donated, do you want me to shout you out or no? Let me know. I think it was you. Luck, did you donate? Yes or no? Because you said thank you. But was that you? Let me know so I can make sure I properly shout you out. You already know I'm going to keep my foot on these bozos' necks all day, every day. Exactly, Justin March. I didn't even think of that. He didn't want to celebrate Pride Month because that would have been too obvious. Oh, he's claiming this is birthday weekend. Oh, I forgot. Yes, because again, he started celebrating last week at the end of Pride Month. And he went to Atlanta to celebrate. Oh, it's getting spooky out here. All right, that was you, Luck. But yeah, I'm still going to give you a shout out. Thank you. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. I want to make sure I shout out everybody who support me. Everybody. That's why I even shout out even people who just comment. If you're watching this stream, shout out to you. All support is good support. All support is good support. Shout out to you. Oh, shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with the 2. Yeah, where's Peanut? You out here traveling you going from Georgia to OKC. You just going around the country. Where Peanut at? You need some time to yourself to celebrate your birthday month, week, whatever. Like, come on. Exactly. Because Tariq got a lot of women who support him, who say they support him because they think he handsome and they think he funny. It would turn them off if he would be like, listen, I go that way. But yeah, let's let Tariq finish up so we can move on.
Panther Party in Alabama. Raise your hand if you knew that. There was a Black Panther Party in Alabama, started in Lowndes County, right by Selma, organized at a Black church, Mount Gilead Church in Selma, or right near Selma, between Selma and Montgomery. I went there, paid respect. There's a cemetery in the back of that church. My great-grandparents are buried there, ladies and gentlemen. That's the bloodline I come from. My great-grandparents, Reverend James Black, Caroline Black, are buried in the back of that church. This is my family. It's in me. It ain't on me. It's in me. It ain't on me. You understand what I'm saying? This is what we come from. That's foundational shit right there. So it's our duty to not let people exploit that. Every time somebody wants to get justice, remember when they sent them big light bulb head tethers from Minnesota down there to Selma, walking up and down the Edmund Pettus Bridge? from Minnesota because they were
the same Miss Pettis Bridge that you made fun of John Lewis for walking across and getting his head bust. That one, like, come on.
They were scamming. They got caught in all them scams, so they're trying to clean up their image. So they sent them light bulb head tethers down the damn Edmund Pettis Bridge for what? People didn't suffer for you to come down and pull your scams and get a pass for pulling no damn scams. I got very offended by that when they sent them tethers down there to march up and down Edmund Pettis Bridge because they were trying to clean up their image because they got caught scamming up there in Minnesota. What kind of shit is that? You know what I'm saying? That type of disrespect shit don't fly. We have to check that. We have to check that, ladies and gentlemen. And the Democrats, they push all that type of nonsense. We can't let these folks denigrate our lineage. It's our duty to stand up for our lineage, family. That's our job. That's our duty. And understand the birthright citizenship conversation that permanently dismantles the whole idea of trickle-down representation.
Exactly. That's probably who he probably met up with Marcel Dixon and T.S. Giselle. I heard T.S. Giselle is in jail. I didn't even look into that. But yeah, he probably went down over there to bail that individual out. It's definitely in him. You're right. Definitely in him. Salute to everybody in the chat. Oh, salute to One Ready to Go. You son gifts, 3 gifts. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you for them 3 gifts. Let's keep it going. Oh.
The Democrats, they can no longer put a generic immigrant or somebody with no ties to American slavery in a position of power and expect us to celebrate it as a win for the culture. That shit ain't, no. Y'all not doing another Obama, another Kamala. That ship has sailed. Unless you're going to have some people standing on lineage business, we ain't rocking with them like that. We're no longer accepting symbolic representation under a generic African umbrella when the very laws and constitutional amendments being debated were written specifically for our lineage. Because we sit up here and support these non-FBAs, we get them in office, and the first thing they do is tell us what they ain't going to do for us and then roll out the goddamn red carpet for their fellow immigrants. We ain't doing that. We're just not doing that. Let me get some of the family in here. Nakeem. Let's get Nakeem in here. Let's get some of the family. Nakeem, hop on in, Nakeem. Nakeem, hop on in, bro. Unmute your mic. Nakeem, can you hear me, bro?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's going on with you, brother?
Hey, man, just chilling, man. My question is, sir, what would you guys do without tethers, man? No food trucks, man. No nurses, no doctors. That's just my question, man. You know, without tethers, sir.
No, you mean less fake degrees? Yeah, it'll be less fake degrees, less fake nursing degrees, less fake diplomas. Yeah, it'll be a lot. We can get real diplomas and real degrees in there. That would be great, right?
So why you just got to give us that stigma that all our degrees is fake?
Because y'all lead. Truth be told, y'all lead the nation in fake degrees, sir. Y'all have.
Oh my God! Can't make this up. Let's hear the rest of this, and then we got to get out of here. We got to go. What do you mean? What address should I post? I mean, like, what link should I put? I don't know. I'll look into the crypto thing. Thank you for even bringing it up, though.
Whole fake degree mills, y'all. It's a whole thing. It's always some fake degrees, some fake scams. I mean, that's the problem. We're not making that up, sir. Y'all kind of got a reputation for that. There was a guy. What was this guy's name? He was out in where was he? In St. Louis. They caught one of your fellow tethers. He was a building inspector out there. Abe Banjo, Papula, whatever. He done finessed damn near $2 million. They gave him some money to repair buildings, and his musty ass finessed the money. God damn. This is what, yeah, we don't need it. We don't need it. We don't need you finessing. We don't need it. This just happened today.
Without us, man, you guys wouldn't be nothing, man.
That's a projection, sir.
Where's the food trucks in the hood, man? You got the Arabs making all the fish and chicken.
We don't eat your food trucks. We don't eat West African food trucks. There's no You don't have food in your homeland. So you don't have a food truck over here? What are you talking about? You don't have West African food trucks. What, bush meat bologna? What, we don't eat none of that shit. We don't eat bush meat bologna. What are you talking about, sir?
Where's the doctors and the nurses, sir?
We got them. Dr. Ben Carson. People like that. We've been had doctors and nurses. We were some of the progenitors of the modern medical industry. They were getting a lot of stuff from our herbalists, sir. Come on now.
Those are TikTok doctors, sir. We have real doctors, sir.
Oh, no, before TikTok, sir. Before TikTok, Dr. Ben.
Sound like the is that revenue trolling Tariq, or is that somebody else? I don't know. Shout out again to One Ready to Go. Thank you again for sending those 3 gifts. Much appreciated.
Carson is not a TikTok doctor. He's a brilliant doctor. He does some Samboing sometimes. He's a brilliant doctor. We have our doctors, sir. You're Johnny come lately. You don't even have doctors in your homeland. You don't even have hospitals, sir.
We have hospitals,
No,
man.
you don't, sir. Especially when you're the presidents or somebody in the political office, when they get injured or hurt or whatever, y'all got to fly them to Europe some damn where. Who you think you're talking to? Sir, when that boxer got into a car accident, too, they had to call him an Uber. They didn't even have ambulances to go get him, sir. How you got to call an Uber when you get in an accident? They didn't have a goddamn ambulance to come get old dude when he got in that car accident, sir. What you talking about?
You guys stripped us of our resources, sir. So we had to move to the Americas, man.
Who stripped you of the resources?
Well, your fellow white man.
No, the British
white tea man.
The British did that. Why didn't you go to Britain?
Well, we heard it was you guys.
Yeah, you damn right. You came over here where the getting was good because you wasn't gonna get shit from them. You had to come around the foundationals, didn't you?
Well, sir, we had to make things better and easy for you guys.
No, not for us. We fine. You had to make it easy for yourself, sir.
Who's delivering you guys this food? You lazy Negroes can't get your food.
Well, the problem is by the time it get there, you done put your little goosey fingers all in the fries. You done ate up half our fucking fries. So you're not even doing that good, sir. And y'all deliver the food, and I see little gap tooth teeth marks in my turkey wings. I mean, goddamn, you're not even delivering the food correctly, sir. And then the bag is musty. It's just a problem. So, all right, just get it together, Nasheed. Get it together. All right, let me get some more people.
All right, that's enough. Yeah, that's enough. Them going back and forth. That was funny. I'm happy that people call in occasionally to troll Tariq Nasheed. He deserves it. He deserves it. He deserves it. But anyway, yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. Shout out to Konguru for this. This is about O'Shea Duke Jackson. I think he's attacking a Guyanese man. And he's like basically co-signing the South African xenophobia. I don't know. I haven't watched it, but that's what I gather from the title. But yeah, we're going to watch this together. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing the stream. Make sure y'all supporting any way y'all can. Support with a comment. Support by hitting that reaction heart in the corner. All support is good support. Let me see. You said your grandmother is Guyanese? That's what's up. That is what's up. Yeah. Let me tell you. I think I ate from a Guyanese restaurant before. Y'all the ones who be doing the curry duck, right? Y'all do the curry duck, right? Total disgrace. But yeah, let's get into this.
Yeah, my people, I just want to address some issues that is going on. Ever since this xenophobic issue started, I've been getting calls from family members, from friends that will be calling you. Hey, we are worried. When are you coming home? When are you coming home? Yeah. The thing is, I have a lot of things to say. You understand? I have a lot of things to say, but let me start with this. I want to talk about the health sector.
Ish. Guys, where is he from? He sounds like he's from Zimbabwe. I'm not sure. He's definitely from Southern Africa somewhere, but y'all let me know in the comments where this guy is from.
You understand? It's not like coming home is the problem, you see? We know that home sweet home. Yeah, home sweet home. So we've been here and we'll be seeing people being attacked and we'll be seeing people being beaten and we don't want to come home. It's not like we are stupid or it's not like we don't know what is good. That is why we don't want to come home. No. But there are a lot of issues that is going on home. And when we look at ourselves now, when we come now, it's not going to favor us. You understand?
This is important to know. I know so many Africans. As you guys know, I'm a Black American. I live in Uganda. So many Africans that live in Dubai and they send money home all the time, want to build something at home all the time, and their parents take the money. And a lot of Ugandans, a lot of Kenyans. And so once they get to Dubai, you always say, why don't you want to come back home? Like, oh, I'm coming. Oh, I'm coming.
Stop the cap. Come on, O'Shea. You got to be a bozo every time you, like, come on, man. That's all you do. You live in Africa, but all you want to do is attack Africa all day. Mind you, the lifestyle you live, you could never live that in America. The love you get showed in Africa, you would never get showed in America. Nobody likes you, O'Shea. You's a bozo. The reason you left America because it was too hard for you. Nobody liked you. You got no respect. You wasn't getting no girls, nothing. You're a complete dweeb, but you sitting around here talking down on Africa. Exactly. Tomato, 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 tomato. Let's keep it going.
Those are lies. Want to know why? Because ain't nothing home to go back to. And this is the problem that I have with some of you African commentators out there.
It's both. Tariq is both. He's dumb, but he's also a grifter. He's both.
That are so against the South Africans and their xenophobia. Well, the real issue is, why is there nothing to come home to? Y'all get real quiet when somebody hit y'all with those facts. Why don't you have anything home to come to? Okay? He would rather get his ass whooped in South Africa than to come home and have nothing. Ain't that crazy? Let's continue.
The health sector. You see, here in this country, healthcare is very free. Yeah, it's free for everyone, whether you are a foreigner, you are a citizen. It's free for everyone. You understand? Yeah. When you are sick, once you go to the hospital, they will take care of you. The necessary things that they are supposed to do, they will do it for you. They will make sure they will take good care of you. You understand? Anything that they will do, they will not discriminate. They will not say that you are a foreigner, because of that we will not take care of you. You see, but my country, where I'm coming from, you see, if you don't have money, going to the hospital is even a problem.
Boom! These are the facts. Okay? We've had somebody that died on our team. Kim Nakama, he got into a car accident, and I don't know if they could have saved his life, but they wouldn't operate on him unless he had some money. And then he did have the money somewhere, but he wasn't conscious enough to get to it, so he passed away. They didn't operate on you first. Here in Uganda, you ain't getting nothing if you ain't got no money. Zero. The most they give you is a wave and a smile. Hello, how are you? That's it.
Exactly. O'Shea, let's say it right. O'Shea Duke Jackson is a failed passport, bro. He's a failed passport, bro. Like, again, this video is kind of hard to watch because it's like, not only is it's hard to watch O'Shea, but it's like, why are you attacking other African countries? Like, what is the point of this? You're making this video to denigrate other African countries. I hope you get to a point or something, because you know how you do. You like to reiterate yourself a bunch of times, repeat yourself, all that just to run up the runtime. But like, get to the point of this video.
The rest is on you. So now this is the reason why the migrants don't want to go back home, because they don't have money to operate the healthcare system. But what the young man doesn't understand is that you're getting free healthcare. You're hurting the citizens there. See, he's thinking about it from a certain.
He's not hurting anybody, because if he's living there and he's working, that means he's paying taxes. The reason the hospitals are free is being funded with tax money. See, that's the difference. It'd be one thing if you had to pay to go to the hospitals, but he was getting treated free because he's a foreigner, while the locals have to pay. That's different. It's free and everybody is paying into it. So he's not hurting anybody. He's paying into it. He works there. Like you said, if he lives there, he works there, he's contributing to the society, he's paying into it, he cannot be hurting anybody. Like Julius Malema said, 300 Ghanaians left. Did that create 300 jobs? No. Did that make the country better? No. Did that build the tax base? No. In fact, what would hurt the country is a bunch of immigrants leaving. Like that's hurting South Africa, because a lot of the people leaving have jobs. A lot of the people leaving are business owners. Now, where that money coming from? A lot of the people leaving were employing South Africans. Now, who's going to employ them? Like, you don't know what you're talking about. He can't be hurting the system. If he just came out, if he just never contributed a day in his life, just came to South Africa, because again, as far as I can see, he didn't come there illegally anyway. Oh, excuse me, undocumented. He's not undocumented, which means if you're not undocumented, you got to pay to come in. He's doing a whole lot of stuff, contributing to the country. So he has a right to be there.
Survival standpoint. If I go back, I don't get to access this stuff, whether I'm paying taxes or not. That's his prerogative. He's thinking about himself. A lot of migrants are in South Africa. Understand this. They're thinking about themselves, and I understand it. Self-preservation is key, but they're not thinking about the country. That's the problem. They are not there to develop the country. Because if you had money, you would go back home and you would go to the doctors.
That don't make no sense. That's like telling somebody in America who is of German descent, well, if you got money, why don't you just go back to Germany and go see a doctor there? That's like telling an Iranian, well, you got money, go back to Iran and see a doctor there. That don't make sense. Like, y'all keep saying this nonsense, but y'all only say it to black people. Y'all don't say this to other people. There are Chinese immigrants in South Africa. Nobody's telling the Chinese, well, if you got money, get out and go back to China. Or the Indians, if you got money, get out and go back to India. Or the white people, if you got money, go back to England, go back to the Netherlands. Nobody's telling nobody this. You only saying this to black people. And the black people you saying it to are contributing to the society. A lot of those other groups ain't contributing. Or they not contributing. They taking more than they giving. But you ain't got no smoke for these people.
But this is a guy that doesn't have money. So you're telling me somebody like this is building up South Africa? You got to be kidding me. This person is not contributing in a positive way to the development of South Africa, because if he was, then he would already be back home. That's the fundamental difference.
If you don't have money, well, what I'm saying, some people will say, oh, why must I say this? Why must I?
So people from Central America, people from Mexico who be picking the fruit, they not a benefit to America? And if they don't contribute to the American society? Like this is weird. Weird. Beyond weird.
Say this, but at times the truth helps, you see. The truth, it helps a lot, you see. But let me say the truth, you see. Where I'm coming from, my country, if you are not working, if you joke, common malaria will kill you. Malaria, yep. Common flu will kill you because you might not have the money to go and buy medicine. Talk of going to the hospital, you see. So the number of people that malaria is killing in my country or in other African countries is too much. Because when we are sick and you don't have the money to go to the pharmacy to go and buy the medicine, when you don't have the money to go to the hospital, if you joke with your life, you're going to die. You understand? If you joke with your life, you're going to die. Last year, I lost a friend. You see, I lost a friend because she went to the hospital. She was pregnant and she went to the hospital to go and deliver. You see, and during the cesarean section, they said after the operation, the doctor or the person that did the operation didn't sew this thing well, didn't sew the stomach very well. So when she came home, the rope that they used to sew the tummy, it was loosed and air entered the stomach. You see, and the lady died. Look at all this. Look at all this. You see, look.
Yeah, exactly. He's saying his country is having problems, so he's in a different country. He's going where he can grow. That doesn't mean he's not contributing. All these Irish people who came to America during the potato famine, like when y'all gonna have that smoke for them? Exactly. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with another 5. Jose Duke Jackson is an immigrant himself, talking down on other immigrants. You went to Poland and then you went to Uganda looking for a better life. Why you ain't stay in America and build up America? You from California, right? Why you ain't stay in California and build up California? California used to be a major black stronghold, and now the black population in California is in single digits. But why? Because we got people like O'Shea leaving, and instead of putting down roots and having a family, you in Uganda. When you going, like again, if you're getting all this money, I'm gonna use the same logic against you. If you're getting all this money, you doing all this work, take your ass back to America. Take your ass back to America.
Look at all this. A 38 years girl, lady, she just died like that.
So not only does he not trust the economy in this country, he doesn't trust it. He doesn't trust the healthcare system, because what he's saying now is, the lady that I knew, I had a friend, she went and got a C-section. So she must have had the money. And upon getting or paying for the C-section was not done properly and she still died. Now he's creating a layered argument. Firstly, I won't have money when I go back home. to afford the healthcare. So number one, I won't have a job. I won't have money. Without money, I can't afford healthcare. Third argument is, even if you could afford the healthcare is not good. So you pay for your death in his country, which I believe is Zimbabwe. I'm not sure.
All this, a 38 years girl, lady.
You didn't even do any research on this. You didn't even do any research. You just making it up as you go along, Jose. You just making it up as you go along. Can't make this up. You cannot make this up. A disgusting individual. You sitting here talking down on this man. He telling his story, and you trying to poke holes in it and trying to attack him and belittle him. You was a bozo. You didn't even do any research on this. And also, that's an issue in America. My girl almost died giving birth to one of our kids. Serena Williams almost died in America giving birth to one of our kids. Not when I'm sorry, I didn't get Serena Williams pregnant. I'm giving birth to her daughter. Like the birth mortality rate amongst Black women is through the roof. Through the roof.
Just die like that. You see, true, because he's going to give birth. You see, but ever since I came to this country, I've never heard that they say somebody lost their life because of birth. I've never heard it. You see, that this one died because she went to give birth. No. You see, at times when you see the videos in my country, when you see the videos, the way when people go to the hospital, the way people are being treated, some of them are lying on the floor. Some of them are even standing. You see somebody with a drip standing, somebody with a drip lying on the floor. You see, we are seeing all these things. We are seeing all these things. And you are expecting us to come home to come and do what?
Boom. Come home and do what? He ain't lying. I feel sorry for a young man. But unfortunately, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here.
You're a disgusting bozo. You're a disgusting bozo. You're right. You're right. He's he's grifting the South African xenophobia for views. He get to sit in this Africa and say, as a Black American, I totally agree with South Africa. They're doing the right thing. These South African xenophobes, yeah, get them out your country. Get them out your country. Yeah, she's okay. She's okay. Like, again, like it left scars and stuff and like sensitivity. Like she lost a sensitivity underneath her stomach. But yeah, she's all right. Otherwise than that, like this is like, again, this ain't no joke. This ain't no joke. Like, I don't know why you doing this fake, oh, I feel sorry for you, but you need to get out of here. Like, you grifting view. Look, you look terrible right now. Look terrible, you look stupid, and you're grifting for views. I couldn't imagine being this low where I'ma hear somebody talking about their pain and what they going through, and I'm being callous like this because I'm trying to run up my views to get more money. O'Shea, you're a millionaire. You can do something more productive with your time. Exactly, Future. He fled. He fled to Poland and then had to flee Poland to escape racism, to flee to Uganda.
You got to go somewhere. And this is the problem. All this Pan-Africanism is really shifting the blame for somebody's mistakes onto somebody else to deal with it. That's what it is. You don't want to be solid in your own home country, so let us make somebody else deal with your problems. And it's not right. It really isn't. I feel sorry for this young man. He's looking out for himself. But he's about to get most likely ran up out of there. Yeah, because it seems like what I've seen, and I'm not trying to make fun of him, what they want to do to him is boop, 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 bing, 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 bing. What? That's what people, innocent people like him, most likely have coming. Okay, I've already seen folks do it. It's not funny, but I'm just saying that's what somebody like him. It didn't do nothing. But
so even if we are being killed or we are being beaten, we will still be here. You understand? This thing that is going on, it's not everybody that is doing this. You see, it's not all provinces that they are doing this in South Africa here.
Being beaten or killed is in South Africa is better than going home.
You can say the same thing about black people in America. You know, black people were being beaten and killed in the North when they during the Great Migration to go back down to the South, but they stayed in the North anyway because they said being beaten, being bombed, being killed in the North is better than going back to the South, their ancestral homeland. You do know that, right, O'Shea? Black people were being lynched, killed, beaten. That's another reason why there's more sundown towns damn near in the North than there is in the South. Killing black people, lynching black people, bombing black people, beating black people, race riot after race riot. But black people stayed in the North because they was like, all right, they doing all this, but it's better to be up here than to be back in the South, in our homeland, the actual homeland of black Americans, the American South. Like O'Shea, your family is from, like, I'm not gonna say your family is from. You're from California, which means your family left the South to go to California. You know how much bad stuff was happening to black people in California? Like, if I'm not mistaken, you originally lived in LA and your family had to move out of LA because things got so bad and they moved to Sacramento. So they left the South because it was so bad, moved to LA, but LA was so bad that they left and went to Sacramento. You couldn't get your family to go back down to LA. You damn sure couldn't get them to go back to the South, no matter how bad Sacramento was, no matter how much racism was in Sacramento. And you talked about how Sacramento was bad. There was a lot of violence in Sacramento, a lot of drugs, a lot of everything. But y'all didn't leave because it was better than LA. Damn sure better than the South. Come on now. Like, this is the nonsense I'm talking about. If somebody flipped this stuff that y'all say onto y'all wouldn't like it. And y'all don't even know what y'all justifying. That's what I keep telling y'all. Y'all don't even know what y'all be justifying and what y'all be saying. By you saying this, you are co-signing white supremacists and what they have said about black people. Shout out to Mint Kinsley for coming through with another Canadian too. Much appreciated. Whole lot of ones with a whole lot of nuns any day of the week. Hit that join button if you can, family.
That's what he just said. Do you know how, I don't want to curse because my mom watched this. Do you know how desolate your country has to be for somebody to say, I'd rather die here than to go back to Zimbabwe, or I'd rather die here than go back to Malawi or Somalia? Do you know how desolate a country has to be for somebody to say that? And I'm not saying that they are desolate, but I believe that that's what he's saying.
You can say anything that you want to say. You can
Look at this. You are saying that, but now you trying to say, well, I'm not saying that. That's what he's saying. You can't even stand on your xenophobia. You can't even stand on your hate. You a bozo.
say anything that you want to say.
Now, guys, I just want you to pay attention to what's really going on. Why these migrants are fighting so tough. The Malawians, the Somalis, certain folks in Ghana and Nigeria. And these people, again, I'm pretty sure a lot of these people are hardworking people, want an opportunity. But here's the system that we're going to talk about. When you come from these ecosystems in Malawi, you come from Uganda, certain parts of Kenya, you jump into a metropolis like Durban, you jump into a metropolis such as Johannesburg. You don't come from an ecosystem in which you can jump into a place like Johannesburg and make it better. Because you don't have that much, a lot of these people don't have that much to offer. South Africa is a diversified economy with a lot of moving parts. And if you didn't get any ecosystem development in Uganda, what can you do in South Africa? Imagine you have people from Uganda.
What are you talking about? That don't even make sense. Ecosystem development? What are you talking about? The reason why people move to other places is because they got more opportunity and it's easier to get something going. You think it's easier to get something going in Mississippi than it is to get something going in Chicago? You think it's easier to get something going in Alabama than it is to get something going in Detroit in the 1930s, 1920s, 1940s, 1950s? Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Again, everything you're saying, somebody could flip that back onto you.
That come from the village to Kampala, that cannot even speak English. Not to say that you need to speak English, but let's say, for example, you come from Arua, you come from Masaka. What you don't understand is this: certain people are coming directly from Masaka straight to Johannesburg. Never even lived in Kampala. They know they have family somewhere in South Africa. Can't even speak English, a word of English. But they're somewhere undocumented because you have family from Ethiopia there. I used to see Ethiopians do this a lot in Europe. Ethiopians would try to come into Poland, try to come into the UK. They would try to get asylum. So now imagine you come to Poland and you can't speak Polish. Same thing here. So you're coming to Johannesburg, a metropolis in the world stage, and you cannot contribute in any meaningful way. But if you break your leg, you're in the hospital. But you break your arm, you're in the hospital. You get HIV, you're in the hospital. You give somebody else HIV, you're in the hospital. You're clapping people's cheeks, you're in the hospital. I mean, this is like this is, and you guys don't see this point. You in order for you to be in South Africa, a first world country, to keep it first world, you need first world people. I'm sorry. Let me say this so you hear it.
See, again, I'm happy you said this. Shout out to Lord of Slaughter in the building. You see what he just said here? To keep a country first world, you need first world people. What's the difference between somebody, a white person saying in America, import the third world, become the third world? Mind you, they're talking about people of color, period. They're talking about black people in America too. They talk about how we destroy every environment we're in. Like, this dude literally just went full white nationalist. You just went full white nationalist just now. It's more than just pure babble. He just went full white nationalist. This is what I keep saying. All these dudes keep saying is just, they all just keep using white nationalist talking points. They just keep pouring chocolate on them. That's it. Now, oh, you need first world people? Exactly, WT. Kunten. Exactly, Presell. He think he teaching. Exactly, visionary. First world equals white. You're not a part of the first world, O'Shea. Like, y'all really think that the white man think y'all his friend, or y'all got some type of special relationship because you was born in America. You can't make this up. I think he did say no cap. I'm gonna rewind it a little bit. That was a bozo.
You're clapping people's cheeks, you're in the hospital. I mean, this is like this is, and you guys don't see this point. You in order for you to be in South Africa, a first world country, to keep it first world, you need first world people. I'm sorry. Let me say this so you hear it and you hear it clear. People who are underdeveloped as migrants do not come and keep things developed. I'm not saying.
So the European underdeveloped migrants who came to America didn't keep America developed? Remember, the European immigrants who came to America were all from poor countries or from the poor part of their countries. Most of them never lived in anything other than a village. In fact, this was one of the arguments people made about letting certain type of Europeans come to America, saying that, oh, they come from underdeveloped areas. They wouldn't even know how to assimilate into a modern society with big cities. That's what you're saying, which is totally false. Like, America is the proof positive that talking point is false. False. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through again with another 5. Yes. And not only that, he's justifying Europeans coming to South Africa. They first world people, right? So they should be able to just come to South Africa and live no problem.
All of them. But if you have a great number of underdeveloped migrants in their country, you do not keep up development. Why? Because South Africa's ecosystem is already weak. This is not the United States, guys, where you can be a Somalian. You can come into the United States ecosystem if there's money for you to go to junior college.
Oh, look at that. Again, I did not watch this video. I just made that point saying I can refute you by pointing out America. Now you trying to argue about, well, this ain't America. That's how true it is.
There's money for you to learn trades. There's money for you to go to medical school or whatever. You can join the military eventually. We have a developmental ecosystem in the States. In Canada, there's a developmental ecosystem. South Africa is fractured. They don't have that ecosystem available for other people like we do in other parts of the world. Okay? I get you got academics in South Africa, from Nigeria, from Uganda. Okay, great. The majority of these people that are coming in, these people are not academics, guys. Because if they were, they would already be in their countries, most of them.
If that's the case, then what about the people you just named? You just said, well, I get it. We got some academics, but if they was academics, they would be in their own country. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know?
Most of these people are not very, very skilled, very, very highly educated. They cannot increase the GDP. They are not increasing investment. These are people like this that have largely nothing to offer this country. And they are there for them. And it's unfortunately when they're about to get beep, beep, boop, 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 bop, 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 all of that. And when you see it on tape, it's sad. But that's all. Like when you're saying that you don't want to go home, you rather die here. What is the South African going to say? Well, it's time for to get that beep, beep, boop, boop, bop, bop, bop. I mean, because you're not going to leave. Then you want to say it's violence. No, the real violence is what the country did, what his country did to him. That's violence.
You can't make this up, bro. This is sad. I hope this is, let me see. Yeah, this is almost over because I can't do no more of this. I cannot do no more of this.
Your healthcare is not invested, but your leaders are stealing money. That's who really needs to get the big, 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 boom, 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 bop, 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 to be honest. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Subscribe. If you're on YouTube, follow if you're on Facebook.
Come on, O'Shea, get out of here. We done with you. Use a bozo. Shout out to everybody in the building. Family, I might have to go because, like, again, I just got a text message. So, yeah, I might have to pick up my kids. So, yeah. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody who came through. Much appreciated. Family, if you in here right now, I'm going to say this. Don't leave yet. I would like everybody to do me a favor. Do me a favor. I'm about to just drop this right now. I'm about to drop it right now. Do me a big favor if you can. Subscribe to all my channels because again, I'm about to do it big real quick with the content, but subscribe to all my channels. I just dropped the comment right there. Subscribe to those channels. That's free. That don't cost nobody a thing. But you can do that after I end the stream. But I want to thank you for the fire emojis. I want to shout everybody out. I want to shout everybody out who supported the stream. I'm gonna shout everybody out. Here we go. We're gonna do it like this. We're gonna shout it out like this. Shout out to Justin March for coming through, gifting 20 memberships. Family, if Justin March gifted you a membership, make sure you keep it going and make sure you thank him. Make sure you thank him. Shout out to the man of tomorrow for coming through with the 100. Much appreciated. He said it all big tonight. Shout out to Tony for coming through with the 10. Shout out to Samurai for coming through with the 777. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with the 5. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through for the 5 again. And as you can see by his name, he's also a member of the channel. So you can hit that join button, become a member of the channel. Shout out to Jen Summers for coming through with the $4.99. Shout out to Kanguru for coming through with the $9.99. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with the 5. Shout out to a pimp named Slickback for coming through with the $9.99. Shout out to McKinsley for coming through with the Canadian 5. Shout out to Reggie for coming through with the 10. Shout out to RBG for the win for coming through with the $4.99 super sticker. Shout out to Kanguru for coming through again with the $1.99. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with the 10. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with the 5. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with another 5. Shout out to Cameroon for coming through with the $1.99. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with the 2. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with the 5. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with another 5. Shout out to Mackenzie for coming through with another 2 from Canada. Shout out to That's Amazing for coming through with another 5. Shout out to Pre-Sell for donating on the Cash App. Family, you can hit the Cash App. And if you hit the Cash App, let me know if you want to shout out or not. Shout out to Iceberg for hitting the Cash App. Shout out to Lucky for hitting the Cash App. Now we got to go to the gifts. Shout out to the Visionary for dropping. I think you just sent another gift. All right. Shout out to the Visionary for coming through with 7 gifts. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to you for coming through with 7 gifts. That's the Visionary right there. Also a member of the channel. Shout out to, let me see if I can find the other gifts. Info Love for coming through with a gift. You didn't comment, so I can't really show you, but shout out to you. Shout out to Tina in the building for coming through with a gift. Salute to you, Tina. See, Justin March even saluted you. Salute to you, Tina, coming through with the gift. Shout out to Ready One to Go for coming through with 3 gifts. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Thank you for all the support. Thanks everybody for coming through with the fire emojis. Much appreciated. Yep. He MVP. He co-MVP. He MVP also with That's Amazing. That's Amazing came through. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody who coming through for just dropping a comment, for participating, for hitting the thumbs up button, for hitting that reaction heart. All support is good support. Sharing the stream, subscribing to the channel, hitting the bell, doing all of that. Much appreciated. Matter of fact, let me see something. Let me see something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shout out to That's Amazing. He donated 10 times tonight. Much appreciated. Thank you. Shout out to you. I shouted out the Visionary for donating 7 gifts. Shout out to Ready One to Go for donating 3 gifts. Shout out to let me see. 1, 2. Shout out to Kanguru for coming through twice. I think he came through twice. Let me see. 1. Yeah, he came through twice. Shout out to Mackenzie for coming through. 1. Let me count. Sorry, y'all. I gotta scroll through this. 1. Shout out to Mackenzie for coming through twice. Oh, shout out to a pimp named Slickback. He just came through twice with himself, with dropping another 5. Of course, you already know that about O'Shea. O'Shea been a fraud. He been a fraud. That's why I never knew how people could follow him. I always said that, like, O'Shea, he's a fraud. He's a fraud. Total fraud. I don't get it. I don't get it. Hopefully, I made sure I shouted out everybody. If I missed somebody, let me know. Somebody has sent me something on the Cash App the other day. Shout out to you for that. Again, I don't know if you want a shout out in person. You didn't say whether you wanted to shout out or not, but thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Always appreciate. I always appreciate all the support I get. I don't even know how much it means to me. It helps keep me going. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. And shout out to the person who told me I should try to monetize myself a little bit more, because it's like I definitely was doing this for free all these years. But shout out to you. And yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Family, also, like I said, you can donate any way you can. As you can see in the pinned comment, that's the best way and easiest way to donate as far as I can get it immediately. PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. but I appreciate any donations, any way they come, and for any amount. Whole lot of ones beat a whole lot of nuns. And shout out to the person who came through. I didn't keep your name, but shout out to you for letting me know I should look into being able to accept crypto. So big shout out to you for that. Oh wait, I got another donation. Shout out to your tech homeboy for the $1.99. Much appreciated. You already know I'm staying on these bozos. I'm never gonna stop. Never gonna stop. I'm never gonna stop, no matter what. They can't stop me. That's another reason why I say make sure y'all subscribe to my other channels, because they do be flagging me. I do be getting videos taken down, all that, but I'm not gonna stop. Not gonna stop. So shout out to you for that. But anyway, family, yeah, I gotta go. My kids is calling for me. Have a good night, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you watch this or wherever you at. And on that note, family, peace. Wait, time out. You said, oh yes, I definitely will do that. I'm gonna do a live Q&A. I was thinking about doing a members only live Q&A first, and then letting other people do another one. But yeah, I definitely will do that. Definitely. Oh, shout out to that your tech homeboy for doubling up with another $1.99. Of course they got me blocked. Remember, yesterday we tried to listen to Tariq on Twitter. We couldn't even listen to him because he blocked me. They got me blocked on everything. They would have me blocked off their YouTube if they could. But yeah, let me get up out of here. Again, I'm seeing people hitting the reaction heart. Thank you for that support too. I'll see y'all later. Thank you again for all the support. It means so much. And on that note, family, peace.